children play with their food? The sixth child of Sigmund Freud was called Anna Freud, and she took up her father's beacon of battiness. She was the first person to write about denial. That's Sigmund on the right.
For me, playing with food came out of being deprived in Liverpool when there were no toys.
So did you make sort of things out of meatballs instead of Lego?
Mum used to put a plate of turnip tops and cockles.
So, as a youth, your toys were cockles?
My first toy was toy cheese. for Christmas. Honestly, that was a metal-like cheese portion, which you used to wind up, I remember this, on the lino, and put it down. I used to make, like, cheesy movements.
Cheesy movements. That is a very good reason to play with foods, and it makes me all the sicker at the weirdness of Anna Freud. Anna Freud believed by playing with their food, they were really playing with their excrement.
The thing is, a child could play with its excrement...
If it wanted to.
If it wanted to.
Of all human phases that you're in, lower infancy is the one where you can most get away with playing with your excrement.
Oh, he's got his hand in his nappy again. But that's the one thing that we don't touch.
The Freud family is a good example. Anna Freud suffered from depression all her life and never had children.
Sigmund Freud was terrified of the number 62, and so he refused to ever stay in a hotel that had more than 61 rooms in case he got number 62. And the first time after he'd made this rule, the first room that he was booked into was number 31. And he went, oh, see? Half of 62.
Yeah, but 62 rhymes with poo. 6 looks like a poo, pursued by a swan.
You know, one of the things that people say is sort of a test of whether you're anal is whether you keep your records in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
All that, but I think, well, surely it depends on how many records you've got. I mean, if you've just got 2 and you keep going back and checking and going, oh, ABBA, ZZ Top, they're still there, that's all right. I've got a room full of bloody records. I keep them in alphabetical order so I can find the one I want. Apparently it means I've got a problem with my arse. How is that?
I shouldn't think, in her time, they had alphabeti spaghetti.
That's true.
Which was the main reason I play with my food every breakfast.
I just insert my meatballs up my arsehole whenever they turn up on the plate.
And if they want to call you anal, it's up to them.
It's in their court. The ball is in their court.
The ball is up your arse. Ineffably, imponderably stupid and wonderful. Each one of you here, you should find you have a picture, which is a picture of a genuine United States Patent Office patent application. Arthur, have a look at yours, shall we? And Clive, yours looks like this. And Vic. And Alan, you've got a picture too.
Well, it's some sort of electrified Christmas stocking. It's a shoe bomb. Why would you want an electrified Christmas stocking anyway?
It's a Santa Claus detector.
Oh, of course.
It's got a motion detection. You hang it amongst your other stockings, and when Santa Claus comes, it triggers a light and an alarm.
There's no such thing as
I
Santa.
know there isn't.
Waste of time.
Waste of time.
Clive, this looks like a bra where you've got a little nozzle and you can blow down it to inflate the bra. So this is clearly designed for a woman who maybe thinks
A
one of her...
woman with no arms.
Oh, yes, I wasn't going to mention that. She's got one breast she feels is slightly smaller than the other, but she doesn't make a big thing of it, except when she's walking past somebody who she fancies, so she can quickly and surreptitiously inflate the breast.
It's odd enough your breath was going in the wrong direction. You were blowing when you should be sucking.
So you suck...
You basically have drink in your bra. And you can surreptitiously suck your drink out of it.
It's only going to be for red wine, though, isn't it? Because it's going to be too warm for white wine or beer or...
Oh, what about Ovaltine?
Oh!
Can I have one of those Ovaltine bras? I've heard so much about. She came in here reeking of Ovaltine.
What's yours, young Arthur?
Yes. I remember Clive Anderson in his 30s. And, I can't hardly believe it, but maybe someone has actually patented the Como.
You're absolutely right. On May the 10th, 1977, Frank Smith from Orlando, Florida, filed a patent for a method of styling hair to cover partial baldness using only the hair on a person's head.
But why is his head the colour of a baboon's arse?
Have you got the full details of this that I could take away and study? Just for general interest.
If you look at this picture, though, what you'll see is a horse with its tail. And that's just the end of it.
Yes.
Vic, what have you got for us?
This is a device for sucking those special gases out of a U-bend. And it looks like an actual pan is filled with some sort of worms, which probably create the gas in the U-bend.
Well, you're more or less right. It is a device for allowing you to breathe in the event of a fire in a hotel room. You pop it in. It's called the toilet snorkel.
So, your last moments before the fire burns your backside off, you spent sucking in
Basically,
lavatory air.
lavatory air.
Darling, I smell fire. Where's the toilet snorkel?
The Great Fire of London destroyed 13,200 houses, 87 churches, 44 livery halls, and over 4/5 of the city of London with a capital C. How many people died in that 5-day conflagration?
I think it's 4 people. It's some very low figure of...
I'm going to give you the points because
Yes.
it's 5 people.
5 people, oh, well.
Yeah,
that's-
very good. Very good. Only 5 are recorded. The maid of the baker who started the fire, Paul Lowell, a Shoe Lane watchmaker, an old man who rescued a blanket from St Paul's but succumbed to the smoke, and 2 others who fell into their cellars in an ill-fated attempt to recover their goods and chattels. The mayor, actually, Thomas Bloodworth, went back to bed on the first night saying a woman might piss it out. The previous Great Fire in 1212 killed 3,000 people. What are the 4 main religions of India? Yes, Alan.
Sikhs,
Yep.
Buddhism,
Oh, no, it's not one.
Hinduism,
Hinduism, yes.
Christianity,
Yes, and one more. You've only said...
Islam.
Muslim,
Islam, yes. In correct order, they are Hindu, Islam, Christian and Sikh.
No Buddhists
There are
in
Buddhists.
India?
It was invented in India, of course. The Buddha was an Indian, but it's not one of the 4 main religions. There are 805 million Hindus. There are 134 million Muslims. There are 23 million Christians. Just 23... There's 22.5 million more than there are in Britain. And there are 19 million Sikhs. Buddhists, there are 7 million of them. 0.7% of the population. Although Buddhism was founded in India, its spiritual home today is, of course, Tibet. The blah, blah seal to La Bastille. Do you see what I've done there?
It's in Paris.
Paris is good.
Yes.
Very good. Can you tell me anything else interesting about La Bastille, either of you, Mark?
It was a prison,
It was a prison.
and it was stormed on July the 12th.
14th.
14th, but close, 2 days out.
You say 2 days out, but I'd have stormed it 2 days early. I'd have been on my own.
There were only 7 prisoners, weren't there?
Is exactly the right number. There were only
2 lunatics, 2...
Yes! Oh.
2 lunatics, 2 forgers, 2 thieves, and a very bad mime artist.
Wasn't he convinced he was Julius Caesar, one of them?
Oh, this is good. You're getting points too. I'll come to this. This is impressive. And listen to this. We have 4 forgers. We have the Comte de Solange, who was inside for sexual misdemeanours of an unspecified kind. 2 lunatics, one of whom was an Englishman or an Irishman, they're not quite sure, called Major White, with a waist-length beard, who thought he was Julius Caesar.
You know, the Marquis de Sade would have been in the prison at the time of the storming of the Bastille. It's a very tragic story, this, because he was in there for a long time. But a week before the storming of the Bastille, he was transferred to another prison because he'd been upsetting passers-by by shouting obscenities at them through a tube out the window.
It's as if you've been reading my card, Mark.
And so all his stuff, it was tragic because he spoke to his wife and he said, look, can you make sure you go round there and pick all this right? I've spent years writing in there. But she thought, well, you know, no rush, is there? It's the Bastille.
Safest place
What's
in
gonna
Paris.
happen to that? And then I think she went down there on the day of the storming of the Bastille and thought, oh, shit.
Absolutely right. 10 days before the storming was when he was moved to Vincennes. And the authorities were upset because he was shouting not just obscenities, but anti-monarchist sentiments at passers-by. So they moved him to Van Stan, and otherwise he would have been released. It was rather like the Tower of London. Even at the Tower of London's height, it was quite a civilised place to be a prisoner. I mean, you got wine and food, and you got an allowance, you got tobacco, you could move around as much as you like.
So this was like the Groucho of the prison world.
Yeah! Tell me why the Kray twins were imprisoned in the Tower of London.
Were they ravens? Who were named
No, that's
after
a
them?
cunning answer. The ravens do have weird names, and they're literally prisoners because they're kept in cages at the moment because of the worries of bird flu. They're called Gwillem, Thor, Eugene, Munin, Branwyn, Bran, Gandalf and Baldric.
And Dave. So they did actually have the Kray.
They had Ronnie and Reggie of the three
Was there a
Kray
prison
brothers.
officers' strike or something? There's nowhere else to put them?
No, they were a bit younger than that.
Did they go on a school trip?
No.
National service.
Very good,
Because
absolutely right.
there was a barracks there, wasn't there?
There was a barracks there, and that was their one. It was the City of London Regiment of the 1st Battalion of the Royal Fusiliers, which is where people like Michael Caine had gone when they'd done their national service. People in the East End, that was their local barracks. But they were actually imprisoned there because when they did their national service, they don't like it. Ron and Reggie didn't like it. And they beat up their training sergeant and went home to have tea with their mum. The weird thing about Ronnie is he was pretty psychopathic, and as most people know, he was gay. But he had this weird thing that everyone had to admire his boyfriend. So they'd have a meeting of the firm, and there'd be the heads of Plaistow and Hackney and Dalston and all the local branches of the firm. And there'd be Ronnie, the colonel, and there'd be a 17-year-old youth called Cyprian or something. And Ronnie would go, "Hello, everybody, this is Cyprian." And hello, Cyprian. And Ronnie would go, "Isn't he gorgeous?" And they'd all have to go, "Oh, he's lovely, Ronnie." Oh, you pick 'em. Oh, you lucky dog. David Putnam, of all people, used to manage them for a very short period of time. I know, it's weird. Yeah, he did. They wanted to go legitimate. And he tells the story of how they were with David Bailey, who took those famous photographs of the two of them in suits, you know, standing one behind the other. And they were all in this pub. It wasn't the Blind Beggar, but it was a Kray pub. Ronnie had gone off. He was the insane one. So they're left with Reggie, who's supposedly the normal one. And these couple of drunks come in, and they suddenly spot David Bailey, and they go, "Oh, you're David Bailey, aren't you? Go on, take me photograph." And David Bailey goes, "No, no." He said, "No, don't be a f***ing arsehole, take me photograph." He said, "No, I've run out of film." "Don't give me that, take my photograph." Reggie gets up, looks at himself in the mirror across the bar like that, and suddenly goes, baff, like that, and knocks him right across the room, and he bangs his head against the piano, and blood starts to trickle down. And his mate goes to him, and they just flee. And David Bailey, to his credit, is very angry. He says, "Reggie, you are a tosser. For God's sake, I get this every day. I'm a photographer, people know what I look like. I can handle it. You don't have to do that. You could have killed him." There was this terrible silence that Reggie had been shouted at like this. And he gave a little shy smile. He said, "Well, to tell you the truth, Mr. Bailey, I'd had my eye on that all afternoon. He'd been eating my sandwiches." Very extraordinary. Anyway, we can move on. Anyone fancy a game of arrows while we're in the pub? On the hockey, then, what begins with D and is something you always see the players doing in darts matches? Johnny.
Dangly wrist.
Dangly wrist?
The great darts player always, before they wobble their stomach, they do this with their wrist. I'm afraid it's an unfortunate.
What kind of pubs have you been playing darts in? Oh, hello.
Yes, they're very nice.
No, Jimmy, no. Well, it's 2006.
What did,
We can't be doing hello ducking, can we?
Is there some word that they use that means throwing the darts? Or is it darting?
Well, what you've done is you've cleverly avoided our trap, which was drinking, because that's what they don't do.
No,
It's actually against the rules of competition darts to drink during a game of darts. When they first televised it, they would drink quite a lot while they were playing. Then the game fell into decline, and it was that fell whore comedy that was responsible. Darting.
You join us during the final stages of this truly titanic struggle between Di Fatbelly Gutbucket and the English champion Tommy Even Fatterbelly Belcher. It's game on. And it's a good start. Double vodka. Single pint. Another double vodka.
100 milligrams.
100 milligrams.
This was such a problem, this sketch, apparently, for the public perception of darts, that it fell into decline and became regarded as a slobby game for drunkards.
You know, in Holland, they play it in schools.
Well, they have the great Raymond van Barneveld, who's won the darts many times. I remember the commentator saying, he's quite a man, he is. In his spare time, he studies the universe. Who's the famous darts commentator, do you remember?
Sid Waddell.
Sid Waddell.
So is it double first history, something like that?
He certainly read history at Cambridge University and has said some famous and extraordinary things in his time.
There's only one word for that, magic darts.
That's the greatest comeback since Lazarus.
Yeah. Alexander the Great conquered the world at 33. Eric Bristow is only 32.
Absolutely. He actually was slightly more poetic. When Alexander of Macedon was 33, he cried salt tears that there were no more worlds to conquer. Eric Bristow's only 27. And then you have the rather odd one, he's as happy as a penguin in a microwave. What was the most dangerous military stratagem ever devised?
Vehicle reversing.
Was it Hannibal's first crack at the Alps with chihuahuas?
The purpose of this one was to terrify the enemy. Imagine you're in the front line of an army and you're massing against the front line of another army, and the front line of the opposing army does something so extraordinary that you think, oh, my God, we're never going to beat them.
Is it from a Carry On film? Is it when they lifted their, kilts and they didn't wear pants? It was amazing.
Carry On Braveheart. No, it's neither of those.
They flagellate themselves. They insert something within them.
They chop their own heads off.
They chop their own heads off.
The front line of the army chops their heads off. How you do that? Grab your hair and just slice with a very sharp sword.
Who was that, then? The Scots Guards?
This was in 496 BC.
It would be the Swiss army, because they'd have something on one of those little knives.
No,
do that, wouldn't they?
Self-decapitation. It's a country you know well, and you're wearing its flag at the moment.
This is the flag of Vietnam.
Well, that's right. We're talking 496 BC, the army of King Gujian of Yue. And he had convicted criminals in the front line and told them they had to cut their own heads off. You may say, well, why would they do that?
What's the worst that could happen?
The worst thing that could happen is if they didn't, then all their families and all their children would be massacred as well.
F*** it.
They didn't seem to worry. They knew they were going to die anyway. They were condemned to death. What do we know about decapitation? Does it kill you straight away?
I know if you cut a duck's legs off, it can still swim.
It can float, but it can't swim.
Floating
I'll leave a little bit of stumpage.
No. It wouldn't be able to. It would have to catch the currents. It would evolve into a whole different animal. It would probably get a wing up as a sail or something like that.
Didn't they discover, like, for example, at the French Revolution with the guillotine, that, like, heads could kind of, like, chat a bit
Carry on
after,
chatting.
So...
Well, no, you're right. There was a story during the terror of the French Revolution that two members of the National Assembly were guillotined and their heads put in the same bag straight away, and one bit the other so hard they couldn't be separated. What, just the heads?
That's holding a grudge, isn't it? For all intents and purposes, you're dead. Let it go. Yeah, you didn't get on. Whatever.
They were French. What is the bravest species of animal?
I think it might be the ichneumon, the mongoose.
Yes, please.
Yes. Because the mongoose is basically like a sort of glorified ferret, and it goes out of its way to kill cobras. And cobras can kill you just by looking at you the wrong way. So I think that's pretty brave.
Why does it kill cobras? Because if it can only eat cobra, it's not brave, it's just sensible. It's just, you know...
No, but cobras, you know, they come out of baskets, they sing, they dance. Sort of Les Dennis of the snake world.
Yeah.
Well, they're literally the hoodie of the snake world, aren't they? They've got the little hoods.
They're not that brave, though, because as far as I'm aware, the mongoose nearly always wins. I've never seen a David Attenborough where he suddenly goes, oh dear, the mongoose has copped it. What's difficult about this question, I think, is you need some kind of comparative unit of bravery. I think...
And we have one. How do we show how brave people are in a graded order? Soldiers,
Medals.
for example. Medals?
Right.
There are bound to be loads of horses and dogs that have been ridiculously given medals if they understood what they were doing at all.
Pigeons get them, they get medals for making
I'm going to give you the points, Alan. You said pigeons, didn't you? Pigeons.
Yes. Points?
Yes, pigeons mean points.
Brilliant.
Maria Dickin, who founded the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals. In 1943, she instituted a medal called the Dickin, which is the equivalent of a Victoria Cross for animals that serve in the armed forces.
She sounds really bonkers.
Yeah.
The thing is, to start giving the animals medals, you've got to start promoting the animals, and at some point you get a pigeon in charge of the whole army.
To be brave, you need to know the element of risk. So I reckon probably the bravest is something like a robin, because I've seen robins mob cats. You know, that's the equivalent of us running towards...
Is this as in Batman?
A tiger.
Well, because that's just not fair, is it?
No, that's...
Well, anyway, the Dickin medal has been awarded 60 times, and 32 times it's gone to a pigeon. Once to a cat on board HMS Amethyst. The Yangtze incident.
Yangtze incident is 1949, isn't it?
Entire crew saved by a cat.
Yeah.
Well, he'd ate all the rats on ship.
That's not bravery, though. That's just greed.
It is really, isn't it? To be perfectly honest.
At Moggy.
What do babies have that adults do not?
From above head.
Horns.
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 Oddly enough, almost close.
They have a cranial cap. They have a divot there that you can store things in.
But the bones in the head haven't fused together yet, have they?
They haven't. Not only in the head, that's the point.
They're completely spongy babies. You can bend them pretty much like plasticine. You can just like make... If it's an ugly baby, you can just make it slightly better looking, you know, just give it horns if you want.
What's the protocol for when you see a really ugly baby? Do you
I'll
know?
tell you, people show you their babies on their phone now, and it's like a cashew with some hair coming out of it. The thing to say is, nice phone. That's what I think. I think babies have the ability to know that they are ugly, which their parents don't.
They don't have kneecaps, do they?
Aren't you mixing them up with mer babies?
Their kneecaps are not made of bone while they're babies, and there are all kinds of parts of them...
What are they made of?
That are not made of bone, but are made of cartilage.
Or Play-Doh?
And they have 94 more bones than adults.
No, they don't.
Whoa. Yeah.
You're making this up?
No, no. A baby's body has about 300 what are called soft bones that haven't actually formed bone material. They are actually cartilage, a sort of soft, gooey thing. And they eventually fuse to form the 206 bones of the average human body. Where are a quarter of those bones housed?
Foot.
In the feet. The feet is right out. Yeah, a quarter of your bones. 52. Very good. Yeah. Very good.
How long do you have to wait for your baby to harden?
It's in the natural course of
You
things.
put it somewhere like with Airfix kits. I used to put them in the airing cupboard.
Kill.
Bake it.
You fire the baby. If you can imagine what a kamikaze pigeon unit did.
Fly into things, fly into planes, engines.
You're getting there. It's a very complicated...
Fly down guns.
It's a
nest. Terrible nuisance to get out.
It was to fly at ships, but in a very particular way, inside a missile. It's got a window, right? No, I'll explain it to you. Here's a pigeon. I've got a pigeon here. Voila. And I have a ship. Yeah. And you train the pigeon to peck at a ship. And every time it does, it's rewarded with grain. Then you put it inside its missile with a glass front, right? And a ship comes into view, but it's slightly on the left. Well, the pigeon's behavioural response is to peck towards where it is. And this activates a relay. And as it gets nearer the ship and it gets bigger and bigger, it pecks more and more and more and more and more, which tells them that they're on the right track. They get really, really close and it explodes in a ball of flame. Destroying...
And that's the thanks it gets.
That's the thanks. It maybe gets showered with grain at the last second, just as a thank you, who knows. But it's a guidance system.
Did it work?
It wasn't used.
Right.
But... what they did using this man Skinner, this behavioural psychologist's experiments, was they got a bit of glass, and instead of having a target on it or anything like that, it was just a plain piece of glass with an orange dot on it. And every time the pigeon hit the dot exactly like that, it would get rewarded. Can you imagine why that would be useful?
I was thinking about this just the other day. It's funny you said that.
Very slow form of execution for someone. You put an orange dot on them, put a pigeon in the room, you could activate 12 years.
No, pigeons have very good eyesight, and if an air rescue helicopter is searching the sea and someone's in a little orange dinghy or in an orange life jacket, the pigeon will always see it as a little dot in its screen, so let's go like that, thinking it's going to get fed, and that will alert the pilot, and it works. And that's beneficial, and no one dies. Someone might even get saved.
Yes.
And then you eat the pigeon on the way back. The passenger pigeon, is that a familiar species to any of you? Oh. It's one of the saddest stories. There were flocks of them in America, and I'm not kidding, that were 1 mile wide and 300 miles long. Good Lord. That would have 2 billion of these birds. They were just the most extraordinary sight in nature, probably.
So they're shitting whole hills.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you imagine?
If you're caught under that, you are dead.
You are. Seriously dead. In 1896, they killed the final flock of 250,000 in one day, knowing it was the last American sportsman, and I use the word sport quite wrongly.
Did you know about the Puccini gun? The composer Puccini was a great shooter of birds, as a lot of Italians are. When I was in his house at Torre del Lago, there was the Puccini gun, which he made himself, and he'd be sitting there writing, you know, lovely opera, and he'd hear a snipe outside the window. He'd grab this thing, which had the bore on it like a drain pipe, and he could bring down 50 snipe in one go.
Oh, you see, is that sport? He's Italian. Italians, Americans, I mean, really. It's horrible. But can you imagine that? And then on one day, knowing you're wiping out an entire species to kill 250,000 birds in a day.
Did they know it was the last 250,000? And they sort of thought,
knew.
Fantastic, let's finish them off.
Yeah.
That was the last flock, and then the last bird itself died in the Cincinnati Zoo in 1914. She was called Martha.
So the pigeons in Trafalgar Square, they're wild rock pigeons.
Wild rock doves.
Wild rock doves.
Yeah.
Do they know that? Because you don't tend to see them on the cliffs at Beachy Head.
They're confused by our rock cliffs, aren't they? That's the problem. Pablo Picasso was a keen pigeon fancier.
His father was a painter of pigeons. It was a style in late 19th century Malaga. Instead of, like, flower genre painting in France, whatever, his father was a pigeoniana, or whatever it was called. And when he discovered how good his son was, he gave him his brushes and never painted again.
Fantail pigeons he collected himself, and of course he called his daughter
Paloma,
which is Spanish for a dove or pigeon. Indeed. Una paloma blanca. Yes. Remember. There we are. So, B.F. Skinner was the name of the man who designed these missiles aimed by pigeons who were tapping in the nose, and it was tested successfully, but never actually saw action. What is the most dangerous sport in fact, the most dangerous country in the world?
Contemporary dance in Scotland. Hopscotch in Afghanistan? I don't know.
You're very close.
Well, it's going to be Afghanistan or Iraq, isn't it?
Well, odd enough, in between those two...
Kazakhstan?
No, a much better known one.
Subazakistan?
It's another stan, but the best known stan. Pakistan.
Pakistan. They play a lot of cricket.
They do play cricket there, but they also have this very dangerous sport. So dangerous, it's been banned for all but 15 days of the year. It's a child's pastime that has become aggressive and extreme.
Conkers?
No. It's mentioned and indeed sung about in Mary Poppins.
Buckaroo?
Mary Poppins.
Flying a kite.
Flying a kite. The idea of extreme kite flying
is dangerous.
You have to sever your competitors... You have to sever your competitor's kite from its string, and so the string's actually made of metal with glass, sharp, abrading glass. And motorcyclists get garroted, because hundreds of people do it all over the country.
Who told you this, Stephen? This is nonsense. This doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'm afraid it does.
No, I saw it, Channel 5, when kiters go bad.
They shout, "Bo-kata!" Kite down.
What about when they garrot someone? What do they shout then?
Oops. Yes, probably. It's the Spring Festival of Vasant Panchami, or Basant is when it happens. And there's people against it, the Kite Flying Effectees Committee. People who are affected by kite flying have tried to ban it completely.
Do all the kites have to have the face of Des Lynam on them?
He is a god in Pakistan.
Yeah.
How big can a kite be? What's the heaviest kite you
Huge.
could have?
They could weigh anything up to 4 tons.
Well, the largest kite ever made weighs nearly a ton.
100 metres
48
long.
foot by 36 foot.
That's
And
right.
how many people does it take to fly that, then?
50.
50 people, yeah.
50 men, it says here.
50 men or 25 fat birds?
It has 200 strings. The smallest is 1.25 inches across.
You can get them in the market and stuff. You see those blokes doing those tiny kites? Have you seen them?
No.
Miniature kites.
That's right.
On bridges and things or something.
Oh, do they? You started using an electric fan, one of those little handheld electric fans. It just flies up. Yeah. Invisible string, which makes it very pleasing. It's
Then
so
you go home
fine.
and cry. What am I doing? What the hell am I doing in my life? I want to be a doctor. Look at me, buddy. Oh, what's the point?
What do you use to make a difference engine? Do you know what a difference engine might be?
It's a machine, a 19th century, 18th century design to solve equations.
Yes, a calculator, a computer.
It was one of the first computers, yeah.
Indeed, and there is...
So
it was
used cogs and stuff.
Charles Babbage. He never completed it. He ran out of money. Only in 1991 was it fully reconstructed from his plans, and it worked perfectly.
It's thought that he put a couple of mistakes
Deliberately,
into it,
yes.
so that if anyone stole the plans and tried to make it, it wouldn't work.
Mr. Darwin. Well done.
Presumably, this is a bit like when you go out at night, going to the back of your DVD and jamming a fork into it repeatedly and then going, well, if they can steal it, it'll never work.
That's
slashing your own tyres before your holidays. the joke's on you, thief, OK?
But in fact, in answer to the question, the reason he couldn't complete it was so vast, with these huge cogs in. There is a material he could have used to make it, if only it had existed, which was invented in 1901 by one Frank Hornby.
The bloke who did the model railway.
The bloke who did the model railways also invented another staple British child's toy.
Fake hedges.
That was all part of the... But it was a totally separate invention.
Action Man, Meccano.
Meccano is the right answer.
These are the only toys I remember.
Yeah, and there is a Meccano difference engine at work. It really does work. And it can do trigonometric functions, logarithms. And the point about it is it's programmable. It's not like a clock or something that's just simply dedicated to one analogue task of telling you the time. This is actually programmable. He was an odd man, though, Babbage, and he does rather live up to the idea of an early computer nerd. Tennyson wrote a poem which included the line, "Every moment dies a man, every moment one is born." And he wrote back, "If this were true, the population of the world would be at a standstill. In truth, the rate of birth is slightly in excess of death. I would suggest that the next edition of your poem should read, every moment dies a man, every moment 1 1/16 is born." Strictly speaking, the actual figure is so long I cannot get it into a line, but I believe the figure 1 1/16 will be sufficiently accurate for poetry. What a man.
That's the best impression I've ever heard of him, though.
It is a good impression, obviously. He also invented the cowcatcher thing that goes on front of a locomotive.
I'm presuming by the fact that this is the design, it didn't succeed in catching many cows as much as dividing them.
Tell us something interesting about door hinges.
Door hinges used to be made out of wood.
Yes.
But they weren't very effective. And so then they started making them out of metal. And it's got a lot better since then.
You can clean them with brown sauce.
Well, that's true. That is true. Have you ever hung a door on its hinges? Have you ever fitted hinges to a door?
Yeah, we have.
We have.
You have?
Yeah.
All right, so how do you space the hinges out? Let's say the top hinge is 6 inches from the lintel.
Yes.
Where would the bottom hinge be? 6 inches from the floor?
No, it would be
that he's actually
lower.
taking seriously that we really have hung doors.
I have hung a door.
Oh, she has really hung a door. I've hung a bloke.
I've probably hung it wrong.
The point is this. Let's say this is the jamb. So the up one, that's 6 inches from the top. but that's 9 inches up. In order to create the effect of them being equally spaced, because you're always looking down at the bottom one, and there's foreshortening. If you actually equally space them, it looks wrong. It looks as if the lower one is too low. So you have to do it to that. But in America, it's 5 and 10. And in some western states of America, it's 7 and 11, like a shop. Yes. It is. 7 inches down, 11 up. I know, it's a shocker. You heard it here first, Joe.
I'm frightened now.
I bet you are.
Is there a doctor
I
here?
want to imagine you measuring your door hinges when you get home and say, Stephen was right.
I'm going to send you a
6,
picture of me
9.
measuring my door hinges naked.
Yes, please! I want it. But the middle one goes exactly in between the two. So there's the 6, the 9, and then in the middle. There's the interesting thing about
Doors are 78 inches long.
All doors.
Domestic doors, generally, you might have to take
That's
a bit
6'6".
How do you know that?
Bought a door recently.
You see? And who
why,
hung it? Who hung it on its hinges?
My friend Keith is a carpenter.
Well, he'll know about that.
He's also a stand-up comedian, so it's a right laugh having him round.
Oh, my God.
The door handle kept turning like that, and turning and turning and turning, and I couldn't get into the loo. And I really needed to go, so I kicked the door in. It's the only time I've ever kicked a door in. It's brilliant. And
Great
it was a really
feeling.
cheap,
Brenda
flimsy
in there.
door, and it smashed like that, and it exploded, and the door bit fell down, there was wood everywhere, and I burst in and had a crack.
Lovely. I've heard of the Isle of Dogs, but what famous islands are named after birds? Any thoughts? There are quite a few.
Puffin Island.
Is correct. Any others?
Penguin Island, Sparrow Island. Blackwood Island, Eagle Island, Heron Island.
Thrush Island.
The Canary Islands.
Oh, but no! So the Canary Islands aren't... There's an example.
That's not the Canary Islands.
That is actually Bird Island we're looking at. You're absolutely right.
That's in the Seychelles.
In the Seychelles, you're quite right. Yeah, no, the Canary Islands are named after dogs. Insula Canaris means the Isle of Dogs, and the birds are named after the island. Do you know about Canary wrestling?
No.
It's just a form of wrestling in the Canary Islands.
How does it work?
Well, you stand in a sand circle called the terrero, and basically, like sumo a bit, your feet have to be in the sand. If any other part of your body touches the sand, you're beaten.
Is it Canaries wrestling?
No, no, people from the Canary Islands.
Oh, I thought it was Canaries that were... I just didn't see why they did. Why would they wrestle?
Well, you have cockfighting.
Well, yeah, they're angry animals.
Do you know about La Gomera? Obviously, not having been to the Canary Islands, there is an island called La Gomera. Do you know how they communicate across valleys in La
Shouting.
Gomera? They don't shout.
Mobile
no.
phone.
They don't. Not, it's a language they use, but instead of using their vocal cords, they fart. No, they whistle. See if you can tell what they're whistling. It's in Spanish. That is John milked the goats. I'm not making this up. The next one. That was Domingo was sick. Honestly. Let's hear that one again, because you can hear the Domingo, now you know. Listen. Domingo!
I can't help noticing. Although it's in Spanish, he does have a Liverpool accent.
Why don't they just talk to each other?
Because it's bouncing off the canyons of the gorges of the valleys of La Gomera.
This is still on the Canary Islands now, is it?
Yeah.
Is this the one that's going to fall in the sea and wipe out the whole of the eastern seaboard of America?
I'm glad you asked me that, Mr. Clarkson, because that is La Palma in the Canaries. The volcano on La Palma is said that if it goes off in a big way, it will cause a tsunami that will engulf the whole of the eastern seaboard of the United States. What's the most interesting thing a dog can smell? Yes, Neil.
A dog's dinner.
Yes. To a dog, that is the most interesting thing a dog can smell.
Another dog's bottom.
Yep. Oh, there you are. Oh, no.
My crotch. But they all do.
They do. Oh, dear, dear. Can you blame them? They're only flesh and blood. This is really interesting because it's terribly touching, really, that they can smell this. And
Cancer.
it's cancer. No, really? Yeah. So there was a woman who, her dog kept pawing at her leg, and she had nothing on her leg that was peculiar, just a normal number of moles, but it was only interested in one of the moles. And when she wore shorts, it tried to nip it. And so she went to the doctor, and the doctor found that this was a malignant melanoma, and it taken out. And doctors have found that dogs can smell bladder cancer, lung cancer, 99% efficiency rate at smelling it in people's breath, lung cancer. Quite extraordinary.
So have I got cancer of the bollocks, then?
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Let's not discuss.
No, let's not. Insane. We have something like 50 million of these olfactory cells up here, and they have 220-odd million. But their sense of smell is infinitely better than that. It's not just 220-odd times better. It's thousands of times better. We have machines that can smell a part in a billion, which are fantastically sensitive and complex. Dogs can smell one part in a quadrillion.
I'm worried about this dog. Has it been nailed? It can smell my crotch.
Yeah.
We all can.
I'm sorry.
It is. What is 3 times more dangerous than war?
3 wars.
Is it doing a Yui on the A40?
This is according to the United Nations.
It's probably something really inane, like cycling, trampolining.
It's work. More likely to die at work than you are at war.
Does that include soldiers?
What if you work in a shoe shop near a war?
I can always guarantee you will find some cunning way to make me not know anything. And I don't know what the statistics are for people who work in shoe shops near wars.
How many times have they actually had a war in a shopping centre? It's very rare that first world countries get invaded, but if they did, you could have a shootout in a multiplex, couldn't you?
If you lived in South London, you'd find a lot of wars in shopping centres.
I've been arrested in a shopping centre.
Have you? Tell us why.
For an act of war? I knocked a security guard's hat off.
Oh, a very Bertie Wooster thing to do.
Yeah. I didn't even do it on purpose. I was taking my jumper off. I was absolutely arsehole as well. And you're very much hearing my side of the story. I called it actually rather a story of defence.
I read a thing once that said 1/3 of all accidents at work go unreported. How do they know?
Lumberjacks have the most dangerous job in America, it appears. 122 deaths per 100,000 employed.
So that song's entirely wrong, is it?
Yes. Exactly.
How could you die doing that? Just trees falling on you?
You're saying trees falling on you like that's a bit of a pansy way to go. That's a legitimate way to die.
It's just the only real sort of peril, isn't it?
There's a lot of chainsaws.
But also, you're not very well protected in panties and a bra, are you?
And also, if you're a lumberjack, you're supposed to be good at it.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to chop down trees and go, oh, it's the other side, isn't it?
Well, now, yes. According to the United Nations, more than 2 million people die from work-related accidents, as opposed to 650,000 people a year who die in war. What was Darwin's problem with brown owl? And why did he not describe it?
Probably ate it or something.
Ah! So he ate brown owls, you're saying?
Well, actually, he didn't, because he described it as indescribable, which is why he didn't describe the brown owl. Well, actually, as food, he meant, because Charles Darwin, one of the greatest scientists, one of the greatest men, really, of any age, was considered a very dim pupil and couldn't spell and was terrible at arithmetic and went to Cambridge. The only subject his father thought was fit for him was divinity. And he spent his time chasing rats and shooting and looking at animals and eating strange animals. He was a member of the Gourmet Society, or the Gluttons, as it was known at Cambridge, and their aim in life was to eat as many rare and peculiar animals, like bitterns and hawks. But brown owl, they Didn't like it at all. And all the others became bishops and
Well,
archdeacons.
is this still exists, this club?
Exists? Stephen's the president of it.
Yeah, otherwise you invited me round for fox on creme.
Right. I drink panda. That's the... Oh, it's lovely.
I've got a book at home. It's equivalent to the Collins Book of Birds from 1850. And after describing each bird, at the end it will say, for instance, a buzzard tastes a little bit milder than a golden eagle. Yes. But still quite palatable.
Does it have a wine recommendation at the bottom? You suggest a Chablis or a New World. Which religion causes harm by sticking pins into dolls? Oh!
I don't know, but I bet he set it up.
Pins into dolls. Who do that?
Oh, hello. Voodoo.
He did. He said voodoo. Thank God. He takes it. No, it isn't. Voodoo has never involved the sticking of pins into dolls.
What so a religion does?
European witchcraft.
Oh, I thought it was the Methodists.
Do you know...
A bunch of heretics.
Do you know what the dolls are called in European witchcraft? They're made of wax or they're made of ceramics, made of wood, straw, all kinds of things, but there's a word for them. Do you know? It's rather nice. Poppets. Called poppets. Lovely. The closest, anyway, that voodoo ever comes is they do have these little empowered figures called bocellos, which have small holes into which you put tiny pegs to channel healing energy. So it's a generous, kind thing, voodoo, to help people. It had made its way through slavery from West Africa to the Caribbean in particular, of course, Haiti is where it's most associated with. The missionaries and so on came and they wanted to discredit the local religion in order to raise up the claims of Christianity. So they said it was full of cannibalism and zombieism and things that they had actually gotten out of European witchcraft. And so it was really... Poor old voodoo has rather suffered from it.
They should get you to redo their image for it.
Yeah, why not? New double-action voodoo.
Take two poppets into the shower.
Yes. What's a vomit comet? Yay.
Is it a new alcoholic snooker player?
No, it isn't.
Or is it a branch of electrical retailers in Slough?
If you don't feel very well in space and you throw up out of the window.
You started so well. And then you suggested the idea of a window that you could open in a space capsule.
I'm assuming there'd be an airlock. Or maybe you just have your own helmet and then vomit out.
It's a plane that they train astronauts.
You're absolutely right, Phil. Jupiter's helping us
They float about and they throw up and they bring them down again.
Exactly right.
Covered in their own business.
It's exactly right. Well done. It's a military spec 707, and it does parabola flights. It does about 30 or 40 in a mission.
They shot about 20 minutes of footage for Apollo 13 in it, but they could only do it in 60-second chunks because that's as much as you're allowed to be weightless before they have to bring you back down.
You're absolutely right. It's actually even less than 60 seconds. Yeah, it's about 40 seconds.
It must be padded.
Well, you don't need to because you don't really hit it with any force when you're weightless.
Well, I imagine when you stop being weightless...
It comes back slowly, I guess, because you go
it's
from...
also covered in sick.
Go from 0G...
Interesting point from a personal point of view. If you weigh a lot, are you more weightless?
We have the interesting physical question of the difference between mass and weight. Weight is a phenomenon that doesn't exist except by virtue of gravity, because we are live in 1G.
Tell that to society.
Yeah. Fatness, on the other hand, is a completely different issue. It doesn't alter. I can do that. It doesn't alter whether you're weightless or not.
So if you went into space, in a spaceship, quite a large spaceship, and you had a mouse and an elephant...
They would both weigh the same because they would both weigh zero.
Would they become weightless at the same time?
Yeah.
Or would the mouse lift off quick and then taunt the elephant?
Well, anyway, you're absolutely right about the Vomit Comet, and it was used to train astronauts in weightlessness. About a third of them would get incredibly sick, about a third moderately, and a third not at all. But supposedly it was the anxiety rather than the actual experience that made them sick. Name a saint who comes from Ireland.
Patrick. Oh!
He went to Ireland, but he didn't come.
None of the patron saints of Britain are from where they're supposed to be from, are they?
George is Palestinian, St. George.
Yes.
Patrick is Welsh.
British, certainly. He came from around the River Severn area, apparently.
St. Bernard was from a shelter.
indeed. But you must be able to name some
Yeah,
genuine...
St. Columkill, St. Bridget, St. Kevin.
St. Bridget. Do you know what her great miracle was?
She laid down a cape because she said, I want some land to build a convent. She said, well, you can have whatever land your cape covers. And she laid it down, and the cape grew like ginger beer in every direction. And so had taken over the entire field.
That is one of her great miracles. The other one was that she could transform her used bathwater into beer. Very Irish sort of miracle.
That one wasn't taught to us in primary school in Ireland.
Kevin?
Kevin lived halfway up a mountain in Glendalough in Wicklow and was like an Irish Francis of Assisi. Small animals would nest in his hand, and rather than crush the fecker and get on with his day, he would let the bird rest there and heal or whatever. And he'd go, please, I've got stuff to do. Do you want to bring up any more of these scars of my childhood right here?
It is astonishing to imagine an education like that.
I will say this for it, like, I do remember once going out with a lady who was raised atheist, and an utter chore to walk around a gallery with. They go, who's the guy on the sticks? Is he the same guy who was in the shed earlier on?
Who is St. Bartholomew? Because I went in the museum in Venice and there was a painting of him and he's a spit of me. I was a spit of him. Anyway, it was a virtually full-size picture and it was uncanny and a little bit frightening because he was only wearing a nappy and he'd been shot with an arrow.
His day is the 24th of August. I know that. That's St. Bartholomew's Day. And there's obviously a famous hospital in London, St. Bartholomew's.
But he's probably the reason why they say always wear clean underwear in case you're in an accident, because he had to go to A&E with an arrow and a nappy on. And to sit in the waiting
so
room.
long, they named the hospital after him.
Lord, there you are. Well, a lot of them had arrows. St. Sebastian was a famous one to be shot with arrows.
Well,
but
maybe it was St. Sebastian, maybe it wasn't St.
There is a Mantegna St. Sebastian that does look not unlike you, it has to be said.
Do you know what? I think it might be St. Sebastian.
I think it was St. Sebastian. St. Bartholomew's death was that he was flayed alive, and most paintings of St. Bartholomew have him with his skin draped over his arm, his own skin.
No, that wasn't him.
That wasn't him,
So I've seen that statue in church. I always used to think when I was a kid that he just had a sort of beige-coloured coat.
His own skin. Anyway, the patron saint of Ireland went to Ireland but didn't come from there. He was kidnapped as a child, sold into slavery to Ireland. And then when he went on to the continent, became a monk, he wanted to come back to Ireland to convert to Christianity and cast out... What was particularly clever about Clever Hans, the horse, who was rather famous in his day?
Couldn't it count or give answers to something?
Yeah, not just count, it could do square roots. But it wasn't quite a con, it was something else.
Wasn't it they could read body language,
Exactly
basically?
right.
You could see people going... Is it? Is it? Is it? And they're going, ah! And they
Only
stop.
much subtler. It's basically what Darren Brown often does. And if you train yourself to know how to read someone's body language, the tiniest movement of an eye, the tiniest flexing of a muscle somewhere, all those sort of things, you can, as it were, read someone's mind. And this is what the horse was doing.
But Darren Brown's a bit brighter than
He's a lot
fish.
brighter than the horse.
Darren Brown, do you know what? He's got one great trick. You know when you've got an empty seat by you in a train and you don't want anyone to sit there? He says you're insane to put things on the chair to stop people sitting there. The trick is, as they approach, you smile at them and pat the seat.
That's very good. Yeah. Horses are just stupid, I'm afraid. And every day they have to reinvent the world. You know, you go, oh, what's that? It's a piece of paper. Oh, what's that? It's a hedge. You saw one yesterday. For Christ's sake, get a grip. Oh, everything's... Oh.
You look so much like my nan then when you... It's a hedge nan!
What connects gelignite, saccharin, and the rings around Uranus?
This is what I call a fantastic night out.
Well, if this is about discoveries, the only thing I know about gelignite is it was invented by Nobel of the Nobel Prize.
Exactly, it was, yes.
And this is a safety version of dynamite.
Gelignite is safer than nitroglycerin,
Yes.
which is what's inside dynamite. Nitroglycerin escapes from the dynamite and it blows people up, including Nobel's brothers.
If you get that on your hands, you can get a headache, and they call it having banged head. I learnt that on Brainiac.
You're absolutely right.
I have reason to believe that it was invented by mistake.
Oh, Kray, top marks, absolutely right. They're all serendipitous, accidental inventions.
When were the rings around your anus discovered? Quite recently, I think.
The rings of Uranus were discovered in 1977, actually.
When did it stop being called Uranus?
About 5 minutes ago, I said Uranus, didn't I? I suddenly noticed that it could sound like your anus.
I can't remember who discovered it, but the guy who discovered it wanted to call it George Planet
He did.
after the king. But
Herschel, his name.
Herschel, there.
1781, yes.
You can't ask for anusol in that way in a shop. You have to pronounce it anusol.
It's a slightly embarrassing product. Let's call it anusol.
Can I have some cockwort go? I mean, it might as well be. Ridiculous.
And whilst I'm at it, I'll have a packet of those spunk bags.
Well, anyway, Alfred Nobel was trying to make dynamite more stable, and he discovered by adding collodion. He'd had some on his finger. It was used, I don't know if you ever used it as an actor, if you ever had to have a scar. It tightens on the skin very hard. They used to use it as a sort of liquid plaster. He'd cut himself, and he thought, this is a very odd stuff. And he just thought he'd try mixing it with lots of other things, and he accidentally mixed it with his nitroglycerine, and it formed a jelly, which you could throw around, unlike nitroglycerine, which, as you know, is very, very unstable. Saccharin, he forgot to wash his hands after playing with some chemicals, and then found his food tasted sweet, so he was an American, obviously, because he ate with his fingers.
There's a huge number of things that are discovered by accident.
Trousers.
Trousers were discovered.
When somebody accidentally fell into 2 drain pipes. Hey, presto! No more embarrassing walks.
That's like the story of Roquefort, when a young shepherd boy, just picture the scene, he's dropped his cheese in a hole.
I often picture the scene of young shepherd boys dropping their cheese in a hole.
And 6 months later, he's sheltering in the cave, and he found this bit of cheese, he's starving, and it's all rotten. And he's like, oh, well, what the hell, I'll eat it anyway. It's delicious. Yeah. And that's how blue cheese was discovered, children.
The 3M company were after a paper glue that would stick cards and paper together really strongly, and one of their research chemists was so bad at it that he just... But it sort of stuck, but you just peeled it off, and so came up with the Post-it note, which was an accident as well. Caffeine, silly putty, Viagra, and another accident, of course, the Americas.
Yes.
They're not all successful. It was Gandhi's first name.
Oh, Geoffrey, wasn't it?
Geoffrey, it wasn't Geoffrey.
I don't know. Indira Gandhi, that was his granddaughter, was it?
No, they weren't related. She was Nehru's.
Oh, she's not even related to him?
No. Well, at least you've avoided our trap of not saying Mahatma.
But that's not a name, though,
Yes,
is it?
it's not a name. Do you know what Mahatma means?
It means, can I have my hat, please, mother?
Funny enough, W.C. Fields almost got there before you, because he wrote one of his films under the pseudonym of Mahatma Cain Jeeves, as in Mahatma Cain Jeeves. So there you are. No, it means great soul in Sanskrit, and it was a title awarded him by a follower. As early as 1915, he was called that.
Was it Andy?
It was. It wasn't Andy Gandhi.
Is that older brother Randy Gandhi?
Oh, you said Randy Gandhi, didn't you?
Oh, is it?
I think we had decided it was minus 150 for anyone who said Randy. Randy Gandhi. No, it was actually Mohandas K. Gandhi, the K standing for Cameron. When you know about whom I am talking. Had she been eligible, she might have been elected US president. She's a trained scientist. She has larger breasts than you might imagine. Jonathan's alert. Her maiden name, Roberts.
Thatcher.
Oh, dear. Margaret Thatcher's maiden name was Roberts, but this particular née Roberts has over 1 billion pairs of shoes and yet stands only 11 inches tall.
I'm above Ed.
Thumbelina.
Not Thumbelina. This one exists.
11 inches tall?
Yeah.
Barbie.
Barbie is the right answer. Yay. She was named after one Barbara Millicent Roberts from Willows, Wisconsin.
If Barbie was a real person,
Yeah.
she wouldn't be able to stand.
Yes.
Anatomically.
Yeah, exactly.
Her feet are too small.
If you sort of blew her up to 5'6", her feet would be size 3, her breasts would be 39 inches, and she would just.
But you wouldn't let her stand up anyway, would you? You'd only want her supine anyway, wouldn't you? If she had those kind of things.
Is that right? It's also apparently true, according to researchers at University Central Hospital in Helsinki, Finland, that her body shape lacks the 17 to 22% body fat, which would enable her to menstruate. But what was it she managed finally to get in the year 2000?
Pregnant.
It was a piece of something that...
The Shroud of Turin.
Not a bra, some part of her body. Nipple, not nipples, thank you.
A navel.
A navel is the right answer. She finally got a tummy button. Very good. Absolutely right. Barbie philosophy. Barbie spoke in 1992 for the first time. Do you know the kind of thing she said?
Where's my navel?
You could have said that.
No means no. Stop looking down there. I don't have bits.
Will we ever have enough clothes? Was one of the first.
It's a paradoxical frog, Ken.
Yeah. I love shopping.
Do you? But what did Barbie say, Stephen?
Math is tough. As we know, Barbie, whose full name was Barbara Millicent Roberts, was born in 1959. She's done everything, including running for president 3 times. What was the second commonest cause of death for women up to the year 1800? Yes.
Kestrels.
What a wild stab in the dark.
Childbirth.
Childbirth was number 1.
Oh, right.
Very good that you...
Was Kestrels number 2?
No, it was number 2 I was asking for, and I took that to be your answer first time round.
Was it dehydration from having to lick the carpet clean because hoovers hadn't been invented?
Were these deaths at night? Because I could go with owls.
Let me say, it's no kind of bird of prey.
Not even a swan?
Not even... No.
Swans flying at women really hard with stiff necks until they went through their bodies like a javelin.
No.
So really lying all over the British countryside with swans.
No? Is it horse riding accidents?
No, that's, if I may say so, a great deal more intelligent, and I don't mean that in a patronising way.
Beaten to pulp by the husband.
Oh, hello. No, domestic violence was not it. It was domestic.
Beaten to a pulp by their sons.
That would still be domestic violence.
Falling down the stairs.
No, it was trying to do something. It was engaged in a domestic activity. Cooking is the right answer, yes.
Death by cooking?
Yeah, largely because their dresses would catch fire. I don't know why that's funny. It is.
The second most common cause of death?
After childbirth, amongst
What happened to you? I set light to herself in a...
A lot of their husbands came in and went, blimey, that's a big roasty.
What is the first computer ever to beat a grandmaster at chess now doing?
Anybody there?
Yes.
Is it filtering calls for BT?
You're so close to being right.
If you have a billing query, move knight to bishop 3.
Oh, very good. It's actually slightly more disturbing. It's working for United Airlines as a reservations clerk.
Yes. Didn't Kasparov say actually that he found it actually had intelligence? It was shifting. It was actually deeper blue, I think, when it beat.
You're absolutely right.
Was
Deep
it named
blue.
after? Isn't IBM called the Big Blue?
It
Isn't that
is.
its nickname?
Yeah, it is. And that and an amalgam
of Deep Thought.
Deep Thought, which is...
In The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, yeah. I thought it was split in half, actually. It was in museums. They took
Well, yeah, they did. I mean, they're only using part of it. It was immensely powerful.
But didn't they cheat? And actually, what Kasparov pointed out is that it managed to spot his trap in the 6th game or something.
Absolutely right. He set a trap in Game 2, which a computer could only have avoided by thinking creatively, leading Kasparov to accuse IBM of cheating and leading Stephen Fry to accuse Johnny Vaughan of cheating and reading his cards. It was so accurate. Well done. Very good. Yeah, excellent. I watched Gary Kasparov play the match against Nigel Short in London. It really is absolutely terrifying. You can feel this energy coming out of him. He hunches over the board and he moves the pieces. Even the way they move the pieces have names, you know. Vasily Smyslov, who was a very great grandmaster for a long period in the 50s, he used to move his pieces like that and give a slight twist.
Oh, flourish!
And still to this day, known as the Smyslov screw. Oh! It's the way, just
so little
As if
you
you're
can have-
screwing it
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
board. It's really extraordinary.
But he did complain that it was actually starting out to
Yeah.
show intelligence rather than just cold logic. I know
Exactly.
It's got like 200 million permutations it can think ahead or something.
200 million positions a second can be analysed, yeah.
Why don't we phone United Airlines and set a trap?
Yes, brilliant idea. Me to seat A7.
Doesn't it kind of restore your faith in the human mind rather than being cynical about IBM? The fact that he's going up against something that can do, what, 200 million processes a second? It's amazing. It's close to autism, though, what he's got, isn't it?
He happens to be more intelligent than most. Some of them you wouldn't trust to sit the right way in a lavatory, to be honest, but that much of your brain is taken up with the processing you're doing. It's not surprising you're not safe to use the street unattended. Who's suffering from Chagas disease?
Oh, did you know what I mean? Oh, bloody Chagas.
Taxi, I'm off.
We didn't see that one coming. Is it something to do with shag pile carpets and the dust that comes from the shag pile, that it's drawn in through the nasal passage into the lungs, perhaps called woolly lung?
I love that idea, but it's not that.
How are you spelling this Chagas disease?
No, that's a good question.
Yeah,
How you spell it? It's actually spelled C-H-A-G-A-S, Chagas.
I think it's some sort of virus or a bacterium or a
parasitic.
parasitic disease.
It's a parasitic
Is it
disease.
some sort of equatorial disease? I'm sure I've had an injection against this or
If anyone
something.
needed an injection against Chagas disease.
What now? You're doing history!
It's infectious.
There's a famous person who had it.
And what's our letter of the series?
D.
D. It's a famous
Darwin.
D. Charles Darwin had Chagas disease, and he described it. It's pretty unpleasant, I have to say.
Did he get it off the beagle?
He did.
Oh, look how it took him.
He did.
Oh, look. Oh, it's
The description of Chagas disease is unpleasant. Vomiting, preceded by shivering, hysterical crying, dying sensations, half faint, copious and very pallid urine.
This is premenstrual tension.
What about this one? This is an odd one. And now vomiting and every passage of flatulence preceded by ringing of ears. Mine is followed by ringing of ears.
He had this for 50 years.
For 50 years he had that. Very sad. Amusing name, but by no means an amusing condition. Chagas disease, a serious problem still for millions of people all over, particularly South America. It was discovered by Carlos Chagas. It's unique in the history of medicine, inasmuch as it is the only disease that was entirely described
What's the best thing
to do with a dead donkey? Yes.
Christmas dinner. A lovely Christmas dinner. If you're having the big family round, a donkey will go a long, long way. A big old cavity, plenty of stuffing.
Can he be hung like a dead donkey?
People had this idea that donkeys knew when their death was coming and went away and apart from everyone else, like elephants are said to do. And therefore, to see a dead one was apparently very rare, although they're common. So it was considered very lucky. And you have to jump over it 1, 2, 3 times. The word donkey, when did it come into the English language?
When was Don Quixote published?
Oh! Yay! No, it's very odd. The word was ass all the way through the 16th, 17th centuries, most of the 18th century. In the late 18th century, it suddenly appeared, the word donkey. It was pronounced donkey, like monkey.
If we wiped out every single mule on this planet today, all of them, by next year, there'd be 10,000 of them.
Really?
At least.
How would that work?
Because they're hybrids. They can't breed amongst themselves.
Exactly, yes.
They can't actually breed amongst themselves, though, so they rely on that.
I see
you
what
could
you
whack
mean.
them out,
So-
you'd still have horses getting donkeys, so you still get the mule population up.
You'll still have horses getting donkeys.
Yes. I wanted to put it mildly. I didn't want to say boning them.
Which way round is it, though?
It's the female horse.
Is correct, and the male donkey. So it's the donkey that does the shagging.
The donkey's little.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
So donkeys are quite intelligent. They have to find a box.
No.
And,
Because in one department, Phil, the donkey is blessed.
You see?
Oh, that's a long reach, though, still. In fact, the donkey can do it from a different field. You just...
And they have little...
If it chooses.
And they have a very Leslie Phillips way of treating their lady. They go, hee-haw. No, that's right, yeah. And the other way round is called a hinnie. Did you know?
The what?
Hinnie, a male horse and a female donkey. It's called a hinnie.
A hinnie?
They're much rarer. When the female horse gives birth to a mule, 99.99% of female mules are sterile, and the males are invariably sterile, but they don't know they are. So they have to be gelded so that they don't shag all the time. What about donkey's milk? Do you know anything about that?
Donkey milk?
Yeah.
It probably makes an amazing cheese.
Well, oddly enough, it's the one thing it doesn't.
No.
But Phil, come on, you're naive. Sometimes, honestly...
I want donkey cheese!
In India, they have always in the countryside fed babies on donkey's milk. It's very nutritious indeed. It contains oligosaccharides, which are very, very good for you and have all kinds of immuno-helpful things, don't they, Dr. Garden?
I'm sure they do, yeah. And good for bathing in, too, isn't it? Cleopatra in ass's milk?
She was in ass's milk, absolutely, in pure donkey's milk. Poppaea, the wife of Nero, 300 donkeys were milked to fill her bath.
Big girl, was she?
Big girl, yes. What sort of hair does an underground fluffer deal with?
Is it anything to do with the tube? Is it underground as in...
Is the right answer. You avoided our trap. Nothing to do with films and pornography or anything.
Is it to do with cleaning the rails?
Cleaning the rails.
Gangs of 6 every night go down, gather up the hair. 30-mile-an-hour winds come when a train enters the station, and a lot of hair gets blown down into the tunnels. And
yeah, that's how I lost mine, actually. Most of it is Tottenham Court Road on the
And it's statically attracted to the rail, isn't it?
Well, it's a prime cause of fire.
I don't understand why you can't have... You know, like you used to have a cleaning tape for your cassette deck.
Yes.
Why you can't have a cleaning tube? You just send a big furry train down.
Well, that's the fluffers. What's happened to fluffers in the porn industry?
They're no longer used.
Yes, why would that be?
I wish... David, why is that? Porn industry, I feel it's your question.
It's a VAT issue.
Health and safety as well, I think.
It's something else beginning with V. Viagra. Done them out of business. The fluffer, for those who don't know, was the person in a porn film whose job it was to excite the membrum virile of the male artiste.
And then turn it into an apron.
That's it. Yes, fluffers clean the tracks, they save lives and they stop trains running late. It's a really tough and underappreciated job, and I think they deserve a round of applause from us. Hooray! Alan, if you were knighted, what would the Queen say to you?
Arise.
No, she wouldn't.
Are you sure she doesn't say, no, I'm sorry, I have to draw the line somewhere?
Well, after his name, for which we'll say Alan, after Alan's name is announced, the knight-elect, Alan, kneels on a knighting stool.
What are the chances?
I
wouldn't turn it down, I'm not posh.
In front of the Queen, who then lays the sword blade on the knight's right and then left shoulder.
I'll be like, that shit.
That's it. After he has been dubbed, the new knight stands up. Contrary to popular belief, the words "Arise, sir," ... are not used. The Queen then invests the knight with the insignia of the order to which he has been appointed, a star or badge, depending on the order. By tradition, clergy receiving a knighthood. What's the difference when clergy are knighted, if they happen to be?
They kneel on a corgi.
No, there's no sword.
There's no sword. You can't take a sword to a clergyman.
Exactly. No, you'd take a dagger, wouldn't you? Yeah, exactly.
A scimitar or an axe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The strict meaning of the word accolade is the salutation given on the bestowal of a knighthood, from the Latin meaning of an embrace around the neck, around the coll, as in collar. But do you know about degradation? And that's when you have your knighthood taken away. The last public one was in 1621, when Sir Francis Mitchell was found guilty of grievous exactions and had his spurs broken and thrown away, his belt cut and his sword broken over his head, and was then pronounced to be no longer a knight, but a knave.
Oh. All by the king?
Yeah. It would have been James I, wouldn't it? Yes. Wow.
It's when she did Alan Sugar. Did he go, you're fired?
You're degraded. You are a knave. What does the moon smell like? Yes, Joe.
Does it smell of Buzz Aldrin's underpants?
It might.
Did he crap himself there and bury some?
Well, one of them obviously did, didn't they? Wouldn't
Crap
you?
himself there and buried some.
I did that as a child. I pooed in my pants and buried them in the garden. But when I went back to check on them a few weeks later,
They'd gone.
We could have sold them. People advertise for dirty underpants in the backs of magazines.
Not in The Spectator, they don't. All I can say.
What's the moon smell of? Cheese.
Oh, Joe, you are sweet. Yes.
I thought that was hanging over us.
It was hanging over us. No. You can get some points back if you know how many humans have walked on the moon.
12.
Absolutely. You both said it simultaneously and you both get 5
Difference
points.
is, I guessed.
Well, you still get the points. Anyway, apparently it smells of gunpowder. Lots of moon dust came back in the module back to Earth, and it's that mixture of silicon and iron and magnesium and calcium that marks out Special K, amongst other things, I think, that is also present in moon dust.
What's it taste of?
Wensleydale.
But what was Darwin's problem with brown owl, and why did he not describe it?
Now, clearly, if one makes a joke about Girl Guides here, like he was traumatised during a period in the Girl Guides.
Before.
Help me now.
We even predicted your mistake, because I think brown owl brownies.
Yeah. Yeah. He must have died before.
Before the brownies existed, exactly.
He probably ate it or something.
Ah!
So he ate brown owls, you're saying?
Well, actually, he didn't, because he described it as indescribable, which is why he didn't describe the brown owl. Well, actually, as food, he meant, because Charles Darwin, one of the greatest scientists, one of the greatest men, really, of any age, was considered a very dim pupil and couldn't spell and was terrible at arithmetic and went to Cambridge. The only subject his father thought was fit for him was divinity. And he spent his time chasing rats and shooting and looking at animals and eating strange animals. He was a member of the Gourmet Society, or the Gluttons, as it was known at Cambridge, and their aim in life was to eat as many rare and peculiar animals, like bitterns and hawks. But brown owl, they didn't like at all, and all the others became bishops and archdeacons.
Is this still exists, this club?
Exists? Stephen's the president of it.
Yeah, otherwise you write me round for fox on creme.
Right. I drink panda. That's the... Oh, it's lovely.
I've got a book at home. It's equivalent to the Collins Book of Birds from 1850. And after describing each bird, at the end it will say, for instance, a buzzard tastes a little bit milder than a golden eagle. Yes. But still quite palatable.
Does it have a wine recommendation at the bottom? You suggest a Chablis or a New World Merlot.
Do you know what you should drink with the beating heart of a cobra? And this is a dish in China where you get a cobra and it's brought to the table alive. They then slice it open, rip the heart out, and it's beating on the plate there. You have to chase it around the plate, I suppose. And then you drink the blood of the snake as the wine.
Actually, I ordered the lasagna.
What's the most disgusting thing you've ever eaten, Alan?
Earwax.
Your own? It was your own, that's all.
It's really horrible.
Bitter.
I mean, if just a tiny bit on the end of your fingers.
Sweet and sour.
Imagine if you had to have a sandwich of it. Really like a block of it.
Anyway, a Phylm Feast is held on the 12th of February every year by zoologists and biologists, in which they try and eat as many different species as possible, in honour of Charles Darwin, whose birthday that was.
Why do children...
Which of these would you rather have on your Quidditch team? A Muggle, Hagrid, or Dumbledore?
Is it the one that looks like Julius Caesar who's about to be sick in a bucket?
I don't know which one that is.
On the left.
Oh, see, yes, it does. I think that's Dudley, is it?
Yeah.
The point is, in a lot of J.K. Rowling's work, the words are real, and Dumbledore is a real English word, as is Hagrid, as is Muggle. And I want you to tell me what they really mean.
Dumbledore's going to be some sort of a term for a village idiot, I think.
Well, funnily enough, yes, it became that. In Thomas Hardy's Under the Greenwood Tree, it means a slow simpleton. It's used there as a bit of a Dumbledore, but actually it has an original earlier meaning, yeah?
Is there not a Hagrid reference in one of the Thomas Hardy books?
There may well be.
I don't know, one of the Thomas Hardy books. I don't know which
I've
one.
read, I mean, I've seen
sure
the longer form, Hagridden, I've seen many times, but start with...
Monster-like.
Start with Muggle. Do you know where the word muggle might first have been
Sounds
used?
like some sort of woodland creature or something furry.
Actually, it's an American Jazz Age word. It's a drug.
It's a marijuana.
Marijuana is the right answer. Muggle was a word for marijuana, for cannabis, and indeed more particularly for people who smoked it. They were muggles. People who
Really?
smoked marijuana were called
Yes.
muggles.
That's hilarious.
But what's the next word then? We've got Hagrid,
Hagrid.
which is used in Thomas Hardy. You're right, in the Mayor
I've
of
seen it in the
Casterbridge.
longer form, hag-ridden.
Yes, hag-ridden. Very good. Clever of you.
It means... Hag-ridden. Oh, it means a bony old horse.
It's a mare.
It's a nightmare.
Yes.
It's a nightmare involving a horse. No.
Was there somebody chasing through?
If you had bad dreams, you were said to be hag-ridden.
Oh, that's great,
That your
isn't it?
witches had come to you in the night. You were hag-ridden.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, to be Hagrid.
Is that a drunk person not finding the toilet?
Well, it's a... since records began... That's horrible. When people sleep...
They'll feel terrible when they wake up.
That's a relationship that's not going to survive, isn't it?
When people sleep badly these days, they think they've been probed by aliens, but before the idea of aliens came, it was goblins and witches and demons and hags. And that's what hag-ridden means.
What's the horse doing?
That's the nightmare.
He's operating the video.
Very good.
With his big hooves.
So that leaves us with Dumbledore, which, as you say, has been used to mean a slight simpleton. There's the great Gambon. But it had an earlier meaning, and the first half of it...
Dumble.
Dumble. Think of a rhyming word for dumble.
Jumble.
Mumble, mumble, crumble.
Mumble.
Not mumble.
Mumble.
Bumble.
Yes.
Bumblebee. It's a type of bee.
It is a bumblebee.
I've redeemed myself.
Yeah, there were different ways of saying it. A door means a humming insect in Old English. So a Dumbledore was a bumblebee.
That's great.
That's what the word means. It's rather nice.
Wow. That's great.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Pleasing.
Can't believe I didn't know it.
No.
I'm really annoyed.
There you
I missed out on more precious points.
It's hard to hang on to a hagfish. There's a hagfish. Yes?
It releases mucus
The hagfish.
to defend itself,
It does,
which
yeah.
works in real life. If anybody ever comes at me, I just sneeze at them and they're backing off. So
But I don't think you could produce the kind of slime that a hagfish
you don't
could
know
produce.
me. I'm very young and fertile.
Would you like to see, have a look at a hagfish releasing slime and tell me you could produce as much? Yeah. Here's someone manipulating it. That is producing that. It can turn a bucket of 20 litres of water into slime
That's a
in
great,
minutes.
Great party piece.
Isn't it?
I actually think my baby daughter might be a hagfish. Yeah, because that's nothing. to be honest with you, I've got that on my trousers every morning.
It also can tie itself into knots, which is another impressive thing. It literally does a slip knot or an overhand knot. It's quite bizarre.
Given the choice, if I had to have special powers, I'd like to be bitten by one of them. Because excreting mucus would be... You know, because like Spider-Man, he's all very well, do a bit of climbing and that.
Slime
but imagine
boy.
if you just sat in a chair and somebody went, do your thing, and she went... It would be fantastic. It'd be brilliant. Because if somebody tried to get you in a headlock, you just go...
That's exactly it. That's what it does.
Yeah, Ross, superheroes are meant to help people. How would you help people with this mucus? You know, like Spider-Man helps people. How would you help people with this mucus?
Oh, there's a child who's got his head in the railings. Oh, no. This... Oh,
Yeah, that's a really good comic book story, isn't it?
This gravy is unnecessarily runny.
Hagfish are hard to hold because they tie themselves in a knot and ooze slime in all directions. I before E, fingers on buzzers, accepting after...
Please.
C.
No, that just isn't a rule. Why isn't it a rule?
Because of
words where...
Words where it's not.
Yeah.
E becomes
because of the
before I have to
exceptions
see.
Because there are more exceptions to the rule than the rule itself, by quite a long way.
Who was counting?
Ceiling.
They've been counted. Would you like to know?
Ceiling one.
God.
Yeah, there are 923 English words that have a C-I-E in them.
Do we have to name them all?
No. you're let off, but name
Happy
some.
New Year.
Ceiling.
No, that's CEI.
See, yeah, that's what you said.
No. The rule, the supposed rule is...
except after C.
But I'm saying, in fact, there are 923 which break that rule.
Receive.
So hang on, if it's I before E except after C,
Yeah.
we're looking for words where E follows C, aren't we?
No. No. The rule is it should be CEI, according to that.
C. Oh, but you're saying it's wrong.
There are 923
I know one, which it isn't.
Yeah.
Ceiling. That's not one. Ceiling isn't one.
No.
Ceiling isn't one of the ones you're looking for.
Yes, I want the ones I am looking
That's
for.
right. So I will repeat my answer and I say not ceiling.
I'm looking for the ones I'm looking for.
You're looking for the ones you're looking for.
So give me a CIE.
Ceiling?
That may explode at any minute.
CIE.
Receipt is CIE.
Yeah, those are the ones that conform to the rule. Receipt.
Okay, the rule is looking pretty good right now, because...
Glacier. Species.
Yes, but now I know them, and I didn't think I knew it.
Yeah. There are, the point is there are lots and lots and lots. These are ones with EI without the C in front, obviously, as well as the CIE, concierge.
Oh, you don't even have to have a C in it now.
No, they're EI. Are you incapable of rational thought? You cannot be that stupid.
You've really...
You cannot be that...
Stephen, can I just say, you really are going to have to work on your Bruce Forsyth. Are you really capable of rational thought? I mean, really?
This is not a game. This is a QI.
Are you a human being? I don't think you are.
No. Work it out.
These words don't count. They're not even English words.
Well...
You can't have hacienda and concierge.
Yeah, but there are... The point is there are 21 times as many words that break the rule than don't.
However, if you want to spell ceiling...
If you want to spell ceiling...
Remember,
or receipt.
Or
before
conceit,
E,
or
except after
deceit.
C.
Yeah. But if you want to spell veil and weird...
Yeah, but there's no C in them.
No. It's I before E every time, except after C. But in weir, that's the point.
I see.
Yeah.
They're You cannot be that stupid.
He said it and you're looking at me. How do I get the blame for his stupidity? I've got my own, thank you.
Wow.
Daniel, you're the only person on this show who isn't a complete idiot.
Why shouldn't you crack your knuckles?
Oh.
Is there lasting damage? Can you do lasting damage on the bone?
Oh, you just did it.
Oh, no.
Problem?
Oh.
There's
I think it's an old wives' tale that actually, if you do that, it causes arthritis. Yeah. Because there was a famous doctor called Dr. Unger who believed that it did, and for 50 years, this doctor every day cracked the knuckles on his left hand and didn't on his right.
Well, but the story is that his mother, when he was very young, he cracked the knuckles on both hands. And his mother said, "You do that, honey, you'll get arthritis." And he thought, well, being of a scientific turn of mind already as a child, he thought, I will test this by only doing it on the fingers of my left hand.
Arthritis, and I'll show you how.
Exactly. So he did it on his left hand only, and for 60 years he cracked it. And then he had various tests, and there was no suggestion of arthritis on the left hand more than the right.
So you can crack
and
your
he
knuckle.
apparently shouted up, "You were wrong, mother, you were wrong."
Oh.
I've wasted my life.
You were wrong, Mary, you were wrong.
When did slavery become a criminal offence in England? It
I
was
bet
not
it
in
was
the
one of
19th
these
century.
odd little new labour laws in about 1996, 7, 8.
What an odd law to outlaw slavery. Is political correctness gone mad?
I don't mean odd in the sense that it's a bit late.
Yes, that's exactly right. It was 1807 when the slave
1807
trade
was
was
the first
ended, and then finally in 1834 it was illegal anywhere in the British Empire to own a slave. It has never been illegal to have a slave in England until April 2010. I'm saying I could have had you as a slave legally.
You mean this series I'm finally free?
Yes! Absolutely.
But you know what? I mean, one of those slaves who just goes back to the master. I don't know what to do. I work for you anyway, please.
I'll tell you one thing is that there are now estimated to be 27 million people held essentially in bondage, in slavery on this planet.
But the show will be over soon, you can go.
Yeah.
Right now?
More than there ever were in the days of cotton picking and so on.
27 million?
27 million.
In the world?
Yeah, that is the estimate. It's pretty grim problem still, slavery. The point is, it was never illegal in England because it was never recognised as a state of being.
Oh, there's all
There was
kinds
no
of...
such-
I wish I'd known that.
There were laws against kidnapping and abduction and false imprisonment and sexual trafficking and all the other things that we might associate with slavery. But it was not illegal for one human to own another human, which it now is.
So this is a law this isn't one of those laws where they thought, oh, that needs clearing up. It's a loose end from history.
It kind of was. In 1967, there were a number of obsolete crimes that were taken care of. Barratry had been illegal right up to 1967, which is vexatious lawsuits.
Oh,
Barratry.
Building of
vexatious.
Yeah, what they call a vexatious litigant. Somebody just keeps...
Dorothy Squires.
Yes.
Dorothy Squires, the singer Dorothy Squires, towards the end of her life, when she did have a mania, but she was probably the last person to be done for vexatious litigants.
And if you kept prosecuting someone for it, you'd be prosecuting them.
Yourself?
Yeah, well, it's crazy. Anyway, there's scolding. Scolding was a crime in 1966, but not in 1967.
With hot water, you mean?
No, not scalding. Scalding. Scalding!
That was a crime.
You! What time of the night do you call this, Eddie Izzard?
12.
Yes.
12:30.
Well, they'll give you a good scolding.
And that was illegal?
That was illegal.
Illegal?
Yeah.
And that was legal?
Eavesdropping was illegal. Challenging someone to a fight was also illegal until 1967.
What about going round and round and round about more than 3 times?
It certainly wouldn't have been a medieval law, would it?
Well, I don't know. And if you're in a horse and cart, you have a couple of hours spare.
On a medieval roundabout.
On a medieval roundabout.
Yes. Anyway, there you are. Due to a quirk of English law, it only became a criminal offence to keep a slave in the year 2000. Oh, the humanity. It's time for general ignorance, so fingers on buzzers, if you please. Name the fastest human runner of all time.
Now.
I'm going to go Usain Bolt.
What? He is.
Well, he is. Did you not watch it? It was on telly. He's called Bolt, for God's sake. What more do you want?
The argument for him being one of the fastest is strong, but...
Him winning and being the fastest?
He won that race.
He won that race, yes.
But
you think you're faster, too?
No, I don't think I am. I think T8 was faster.
T8?
T8.
Who's that?
It's a fossilised footprint in Australia of an Aboriginal people. And you can tell from the strides that they ran really fast.
What were they running from?
The white man.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, good reason to. Usain Bolt can reach 27 miles per hour for a second or
Which
two.
is very, very impressive. But again, rabbits run at 35 miles an hour, and that's much more exciting.
It is not as fast as a rabbit.
It's not as fast as Jimmy Carr it's his round.
20,000 years ago, on the Gold Coast, they discovered these footprints. One of the males was running at 23 miles per hour, but, all right, so Usain Bolt can travel 27 on a running track with spiked shoes, whereas T8 was in mud, barefoot, and was accelerating. We don't know how much faster he got. It seems likely that he was faster than Bolt, and anyway, it's quite likely also that he wasn't the fastest of his 150,000-strong tribe. So anthropologists believe that he could have gone up to about 28 miles.
In fairness, Usain Bolt wasn't being chased by a lion, was he?
There is also that, yeah, that's
For all
true.
we know, he could have been like a fat bloke who was about 45. And all the others were really fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing like 48 miles an hour. How do they actually tell? Is it the stride length?
I think it is. I mean, it's, stride length, depth of impress. You can be pretty accurate about it.
Maybe they just had a rock in the shape of a foot and they did it for a laugh.
Maybe. On your way there, though, how would you spot a Neanderthal if you saw one on a bus?
He'd be the one who comes and sits next to me. Nearly always.
Yeah.
He's the one already sitting next to me because I'm married to him.
This is going to be the humiliate my husband show.
Yeah, he doesn't watch this. It's all right.
Oh, fine, OK.
He doesn't really understand it.
Is he the one looking at the wheels going, what the hell?
Have they got the lump and great forehead, or is that the Cro-Magnon?
Well, the point is, actually, we'd be very hard put to tell the difference. If they wore a T-shirt, admittedly, you'd say, Well, that's an unusual looking
That's our
person.
producer.
Yes, but if you imagine... if, and I dream of it, we shaved and dressed our producer one day, hopped her on a bus... she might look like a normal person. That's, the point is that they...
So far, we haven't.
No, we've not managed that yet.
He looks like... Is that a model?
That's a model of how they might look. Unfortunately, we think of them as incredibly stupid, but they had religious rites, they buried their dead, they made ornaments. At one point, we were one species that diverged, and these two branches of humanity lived in Europe. In fact, Neanderthals lived in Europe for 4 times longer than we ever have. They had a long period of living there.
And did we cross over?
We did cross over, and no one quite knows why they went extinct, whether we bullied them, whether we outsmarted them. They were stronger than us.
Right.
We invented the bus, though.
We did. They didn't invent the bus. No, you can't get on that one. But about 1 to 4% of our DNA is Neanderthal, so we crossbred.
So were there ever, for instance, Homo sapiens who married Neanderthals? You imagine a wedding like that?
Yeah.
It's going to be a punch-up in a car park.
Yeah. Go to Basildon any Saturday night.
I'm glad you said that.
Sorry. No.
I just want to tour again one day.
Of Norfolk.
Yeah. But no, the fact is, yes, you're right. I mean, there was interbreeding. And there are many theories. Some think that we, Homo sapiens, as it were, kept Neanderthal girls as sex slaves, but it's very possible it was the other way around, because they were stronger than us. But certainly there was a lot of interbreeding, but for some reason they died out.
Probably the first genocide, first of many that we proudly executed over the many centuries.
Maybe we just teased them to death. They couldn't take it anymore.
Wonderful.
I know I'm ugly and stupid.
So politically incorrect.
Oh, I can run fast. Oh, you're really good.
Why are they called Neanderthal?
Is it an anagram?
Probably is. Anagram of leather dant.
Leather dant. Leather dant.
But no.
That's a period in time, isn't it?
No, it's not actually. It's just simply a valley near Dusseldorf in Germany where they were found Neanderthal. There were many other. Can you name other species?
I do like the idea, though, of having
Homo
another
australis.
species of human that is just a little bit stupid, but, you know, friendly, and lived with us and were quite happy just to do all the jobs and stuff for us.
Well, it's Brave New World, isn't it? Exactly. The
I like the
gammas.
idea of it. I have to say. I mean, I'm not a nutter or anything.
No.
But I like the idea of who wouldn't mind either. They'd be very simple and
could be your sex slave.
Obliging.
Yeah.
Can we go back to sort of the picture of the man that looks like a gnome?
Oh yes.
Where's
the producer.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really fancy that as a sex slave. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not being overly fussy. I just think. Yes.
Bearing in mind, though, Jimmy, this is before the invention of electric light. You know, it's gloomy.
Yeah.
Be in a cave.
It's cold.
You be in a cave. It's cold.
Have a few beers, you'd be fine.
He's quite a friendly-looking bloke, isn't he? Really. For a Neanderthal?
Yes, definitely. But if you gave him, and when I say him, I mean a Neanderthal man, a tracksuit and a haircut, he would attract no more attention than any of the other nutters. When might you engage in paradoxical undressing?
So you're undressing, but you're actually dressing.
No, it's not really paradoxical.
Is it physics or some physics or mathematics?
No.
Is it counterintuitive undressing?
That's much more what it is.
So taking your clothes off if Jeremy Clarkson asks you would be...
Meow.
Would be silly.
It's taking your clothes off when taking your clothes off looks like the worst possible idea you could have.
Is it some effect of hypothermia? Is it some mental thing that does to you?
It may be mental, it may be physical. It's not quite understood, but one of the...
Oh, that is very unpleasant.
Yes.
Can we go back to the previous picture?
Yeah, it's one of the peculiar side effects of hypothermia when you're actually dying of cold.
You feel hot.
Almost the last thing you do, very commonly, not always, is take all your clothes off. And people think it may be a delusional thing, but it also is part of the fact that your blood vessels near your skin tend to just give up and open. And it may be that people feel very hot. Because you never survive once you've got to that stage, you can't actually ask someone why they did it. But it is a common thing for people to do, and they're
I went in freezing water once in New Zealand, and I screamed a lot and swam about a bit, and then I got out and I was completely shocking, livid pink, and felt hot.
Well,
so that was perhaps seconds from death then.
Maybe you were. Maybe you're one of the few who survived it.
Yeah.
Well, what sort of temperature do you think would start you on the road to hypothermia, body temperature, I don't mean outside temperature.
What's the temperature in here?
Really, I'd say pretty quickly. I don't think you'd have to drop much, maybe 4 or 5 degrees below normal body
Basically, that's right, 35 degrees Celsius, once your body temperature starts to get below that. And interestingly, in the coldest cities in the world, hypothermia is very rare. It's much more common in places like Britain, where it doesn't get very cold at all. There's a very remarkable Briton called Lewis Pugh. Have you heard of Lewis Pugh? He's a man who's able to control his own body temperature. He does endurance cold swimming. As far as we know, he's the only person known to science who can do what he can do. He can swim in cold conditions unlike anybody else, and he is able to raise his body temperature at will. It's completely startling. He can stop himself shivering. He is really an incredible figure, and we contacted him. And he said that he thought he could do this...
he's not coming in here because it's free.
He said he thought he could do this because he had trained himself, as it were, over years and years and years to do these endurance swims in incredibly cold waters. And then his body, as it were, saw it coming and prepared for it. That was his only explanation. But
cold water has a bad effect on a boy. I mean, he looks good there. I bet he doesn't fill his swimming trunks when he gets
well, maybe that. How would you like to spend 2 weeks lying on a pile of parrotfish droppings covered in phenyl benzimidazole sulfonic acid? Does that sound like a good...
Is that sun cream?
Oh, very good. Excellent. Excellent. So, that may not be such a bad thing after all.
So it's lying on a beach covered in sun cream?
Yes, most people would like it. But parrotfish droppings is a very special kind of beach, the kind we'd most like.
White sand?
White sand. Soft white Coral Island sand is parrotfish droppings. It's called a parrotfish because it has a beak, like a parrot's beak, and it scrapes away and eats at coral. And it excretes this white sand. And each fish will excrete over a ton of it in a year.
Good work.
And there are lots of them. And that builds up as the white soft sand that is the particularly prized sand of such a beautiful island as that, for example.
Each fish excretes a ton of...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What, a single parrotfish like that?
Not, yeah. Every single day it's eating it. It's a ton a year.
It's eating? A ton of... Well, I suppose, yeah, you're pushing out. Constantly...
So how much does the average man excrete in a year? I don't know, I'm looking at you. And why would you know that?
I'm afraid I don't.
Your classical education has failed you.
Stephen knocked that up in an afternoon.
The average man will excrete the Isle of Sheppey.
By lunchtime.
And the sun cream? What's the maximum sun protection factor at the SPF you could...
50, isn't it?
50.
50.
What does it mean when it's SPF 50?
It means you can stay 50 times as long in the sun as you
really...
would do if you would say, for example, the sun was so hot you were going to burn in 1 minute.
Yeah.
If you put that on, you can stay 50 minutes.
Yes, that's right.
Or if you put it on in England, you could stay for a lifetime.
The notorious pirate Blackbeard has just given me a map. What does the X mark?
The spot.
If anything, I suppose he gave me, maybe it would be his signature because he probably can't write. Most pirates couldn't. The fact is, there is no case in history that anyone knows of pirates burying treasure and drawing maps with X's on. It all comes from
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Why would a pirate want to bury treasure? I mean, you know, it should
stop the other pirates getting it.
Yeah, but he's got to spend it.
No, they can hardly go to Bradford and Bingley, can they? Oh, you're a chest full of doubloons and booty. Yes, would you like fixed term or extended interest?
Oh, God, I went to the Bradford and Bingley and got stuck behind a bloody pirate. Yeah. I was there for my own lunch hour.
I have 20 Portuguese whore.
That's why they brought in those pens on the chains, because they couldn't get it with a hook. They'd be like that, and they couldn't... So they just hook the pen, it would go like that, and then he'd just do this.
Yeah, there are a lot of myths about pirates. There's no known pirate to have
Man's face is the colour of a strawberry. That's incredible.
What, you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Right, it's Robert... Newton. Robert Newton, yeah. Who really invented pirate speak.
Yeah.
Jim Lad.
That's
Robert
all
Newton.
from him.
In fact, Tony Hancock's career started as a Robert Newton impersonator. That's what Tony Hancock did. That was his act. There's an International Talk Like a Pirate Day, isn't there, in September?
Somalian.
Somalian?
kid from Somalia.
Yeah?
He came up alongside me on his push bike. He said, "You is on TV, innit? You is on TV, innit?" And I said, yes, nice to see you. Don't walk away, don't walk away. You've got to help me get into TV. And I said, OK, well, how do I get in? I said, well, you know, join your local drama group. I don't know what I said to him. He goes, I'm Somalian, but I can do Eritrean.
There may be a demand for that, you know, somewhere.
I said, I'll see what I can do. I'll speak to the producers of Jonathan Creek.
On that bombshell, pirates very rarely buried treasure. They preferred to spend it, and they never once used a map with an X on it to help them locate it. So, we're currently now, not giving too much away, in a studio in London. Where is the nearest piece of American soil to us here?
Grosvenor Square?
Is it?
The fact is, most people wrongly think that you're right that the American embassy is in Grosvenor Square. At the moment, they're about to move it. But an embassy is not considered the sovereign soil of the nation whose embassy it is. It belongs to Britain, the soil there. It's not American soil. This is a myth, this idea that the moment you step foot, you're on American soil. They wanted to buy the lease. Who owns Grosvenor Square?
Duke of Westminster.
The Duke of Westminster. The Grosvenor family, yeah, the Duke of Westminster. And they asked for the freehold. And do you know what he said? He said, yes, if you give my family back the state of Virginia, which you confiscated from us, you can have that. So they decided not to.
Good work, Duke of Westminster. I like him already.
But there is American soil in Britain, and the nearest to us is in Surrey. It's a tiny area. It's a memorial. A place in Surrey famous for an extraordinary British event in the year 1215. Do you know what happened?
Signing of the Magna Carta.
Yes, I know where it is. Runnymede.
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 Yes. But what is the memorial in Runnymede?
There's a JFK memorial.
It's the memorial to John F. Kennedy.
I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah. And it's deliberately these sort of isometric, or whatever the word is, asymmetric steps, this slightly higgledy-piggledy, suggest a journey of pilgrimage towards him, and it is officially American soil. What conclusion did the great biologist Stephen Jay Gould draw from a lifetime study of fish?
Oh.
Yeah.
They haven't got any legs.
Is that his lifetime study?
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't his lifetime study of a fish.
Yeah. After a while, they smell.
Yeah. He's a bit thick, and he just stared at me, and they haven't got any legs.
Starfish don't have brains. It's the kind of Louis Walsh of the aquatic world. They really don't have brains, they're starfish.
And they're not really fish, are they, starfish, to be honest?
Well, the word fish is in there, which kind of qualifies them, I think.
Is a starfish a fish? Is a jellyfish a fish?
Well, yeah,
cuttlefish a fish?
Yes,
but
the starfish.
A crayfish is a lobster.
There's a division, isn't there, in the world, whether it should be down to sort of experts in biology, whether things are fish, or whether it should be down to menus.
Yes.
I think, for example, a crayfish comes under fish in a menu.
He looks like he's reading the sell-by date on that.
He does, doesn't he? Stephen Jay Gould was very great. He's dead now. He's very great. He won a Nobel Prize. He was a paleontologist and an extraordinary biologist. And he came to a conclusion which is...
They can feel no love.
No, that there is no such thing as a fish. A fish has no biological meaning. There is just...
Well, that's so I'm absolutely right. Go with menus.
On a menu it does. But in a menu, a fish is not the same as shellfish or seafood, is it?
It often comes in the same bit and separate from pudding.
Things that live in the sea.
Fish and a pudding are different.
Yeah.
How can something not be something? Something can't be not something, can it? If you've created a something, then something has to be that something, otherwise you haven't created a something. So it has to be a fish, if there is the idea of a fish in the first place.
I swear there's a philosophy somewhere.
Slow down, Plato.
There's some sort of ontological argument going there, and of course to us that we use the word fish. But biologically speaking, a salmon is more related to, say, a camel than it is to a hagfish. Like, there are lots of things that fly, like a bumblebee flies, a vulture flies, and there are flying lizards. They're not all birds.
No.
But we call things that swim in the sea fish, and actually, biologically, evolutionarily, they have absolutely nothing to do with each other at all. So, after a lifetime study of fish, biologist Stephen Jay Gould concluded that there's no such thing as a fish. But now it's time for a round of quick-fire hypotheticals.
Quick-fire hypotheticals!
So, all you have to do is tell me the first thing that comes into your head, basically. All right, it's a quick-fire hypothetical question. Let's say you found a fallen tree in the forest, right? Obviously, it fell down before you arrived, but did it make a sound as it fell?
Ooh,
No.
Well, no one's going to say yes.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, do you know where this question comes from, as it were?
It's a
Bishop
famous
Berkeley.
Bishop Berkeley, yeah.
philosophical question, isn't it?
So that if there's no one to hear a sound,
Is there a sound?
is there a sound? It depends so much what you mean by sound, doesn't it?
Well, there isn't, because sound is the vibration of the eardrum. There is no sound
Is it?
if there's no one to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends, though, because part of the definition of sound is that there has to be a recipient for the sound.
Yeah.
Isn't there? There's the thing that makes the noise, and there's the transmission of the noise, and there's the reception of the noise.
Yeah.
But if there's no reception of the noise, then maybe the noise doesn't exist.
Other things are still vibrating, but whether that vibration counts as a sound or not is a
Is the forest
That's the
ever
definition
empty?
of sound is what happens in the ear. There isn't any sound if there's no one to hear it.
It's a mooty point.
there's a speed of
Yeah.
sound, and it's only what happens in the ear. Well, how do you get that speed between that and your ear?
Do you know,
Maybe by the time that tree's fallen, you got there, that sound's halfway around the world and making someone else very nervous. Ah!
So, Stephen, are you sure about this?
Well, no one is sure. That is the point. That's why it's a hypothetical. No one knows. I mean, to a semanticist or a neurologist, they may say that sound is that, but to a physicist, they would say the propagation of sound waves is sound. Whether or not there is an ear to vibrate, it is a sound wave. And if it's a sound wave...
I disagree that they are sound waves, because if you've got...
You may disagree, but you're welcome to. But you're not...
Vibrations,
you're not
they only become a sound wave when there's an ear to receive it. It's unlike... Do you remember we talked about a thing that really astonished me? Did you know that light's invisible? It's the most extraordinary thing. If you, in a dark vacuum, if you shoot a beam of light across the eyeballs like that, you can't see it. Because you can only see what light hits. And it's the same thing, but people said, but that's a stupid answer, because the definition of light is something that goes into your eye and is then received. Until it does that, it's not light.
But we have all kinds of things like not ears, for example. Are you saying that it's not sound if it registers on a recording device that is left there without a human there? That it's bending the needle of a recording device? Does the machine not hear? Is it not a sound wave that is actually causing the machine to register?
Well, but in Bishop Berkeley... So
I talked about you, not about Bishop Berkeley entering a field. The point is, it's not as simple as just to say yes or no. That's why it's a good question. It's a good question. We would have unfairly forfeited someone who said yes just as much as somebody who
I
said
thought
no.
you said there was no right answer to this.
There is no... That's why I said there is. That's why it's a good question. There is no right answer. So your yes and your no are both... That's
whatever I said, it would be...
Yeah, I'm afraid
So
so.
if the tree fell down and there was no one there to see it fall, it should still be upright.
Very true.
My only conclusion.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Alan, are you keeping well?
Yeah. Which of these birds would you trust to take home with you? I mean, sorry, I should put that better. Which of these birds would you trust to take you home? You've been confusing me with your dirty talk.
So the question is a blind pigeon better than a one-eyed robin?
Yeah, or a particular one-eyed robin, because the one is a...
Vehicle reversing.
Yes, it's the pigeon.
The pigeon you trust.
Because it follows magnetic lines, it doesn't need eyes for that.
You're right. The pigeon could indeed take you home, but oddly enough, so could the robin on the right, the one whose left eye is covered. The one on the left, whose right eye is covered, couldn't navigate at all.
Because he's pissed.
No, because his right eye is covered.
Oh, right.
That's the weird thing. It's
So
a
is
really...
the left eye is just ornamental, is it?
No, it can see with it. This really is peculiar, but we know now that they use magnetism to navigate in their long journeys. You know this by the fact that you can disorient them, that's pigeons and robins and many others, by placing magnets near them, and they suddenly no longer know where to go. But they also need to see. That's to say, they're not just sensing it. They obviously see some magnetic flux in the way that we see light, colour, whatever. But the weird news they discovered, and gosh knows why they tried it, but that a robin, it's only its right eye that sees the magnetism. With its left eye covered, it can find its way using magnetism, but with its right eye covered, it can't.
So like an Apache helicopter pilot, they have to have the binocular rivalry, they call it.
Yes.
So you're saying that it would be physically impossible for a pigeon, a homing pigeon, to deliver a fridge magnet?
Yes. It's a shocker.
No wonder my business failed. Ridiculous.
You're right. It is a
So
shocker.
what do they think? If the robin's right eye can see magnetism, and also
they think it's controlled in the
normal
left
things.
brain. Therefore.
So what's the left eye's special power?
Well, just
Maybe
seeing.
it can-
It's just an ordinary seeing eye.
Or
We
maybe it
assume.
can see smells.
Maybe it can.
Like the sort of Bisto brown thing.
Yes.
You know, it can see
Yes.
deliciousness.
There's clearly more work to be done. What would happen if you threw a hippo in the deep end of your local swimming pool? It would sink. It would sink.
Yeah.
In the winters, I live in Miami, and they all look like that. But they have lipstick on, so nobody would bat an eye.
No, they wouldn't.
They walk along the bottom. That's what they do.
That's exactly what they do. What hippos don't do is swim.
No, but it's not the first thing that would happen. The first thing that would happen would you'd get your swimming card revoked.
Yes.
That'd be the first thing.
But also, Ross, I think it'd be a huge sense of relief that you'd finally got rid of the hippo.
Yeah.
You'd got through the turnstiles with it, through the changing rooms, and then you think, oh, Christ, at least I've bloody done it. I've got... Oh, dear, the guy's here about this. Probably take the traffic cone off your head.
So this one would die because he's got floaties on, and actually they need...
That is a mistake. I mean, they can float and they can drop to the bottom, but what they can't do is swim.
is do the backstroke.
Which is
Which is
strange.
why
They
that
can-
ident on BBC One, where they're all swimming around in a circle,
Is all wrong.
factually incorrect.
Exactly, where they do a sort of doggy paddle, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of EastEnders isn't true either.
That really shocked us. How then do they get out of a river?
A small boy in pyjamas dives in
yeah,
and
that's
saves
true.
them.
No, they walk along the bottom or bounce and strike.
Oh, I know. They fill their lungs and float to the top.
Well, no,
I'm
actually,
just
they
using
just walk
logic.
to the shallow part.
Sometimes they carry a small thing of helium.
Yes,
And they put it in, and they get to the surface and then just keep going.
Well, they certainly can't use a ladder.
You said that with anger. Like, bloody hippos. Like, you've paid a few of them to do some decorating. You came back and they were just sat around smoking. And you went, can't even use a bloody ladder. I'm sick of it.
The fact is, they just walk up the shallow bit to get out onto land. How many teeth does a hippo have?
A full-grown one has 40. And the reason I know that's a fact is I got asked a question by my daughter the other day. Dad, how many teeth has a hippo got? And I went, let's go over to this little bit of equipment here.
Are you sure you didn't go, well, I tell you, but I just pushed my last one into a swimming pool?
When they do that, they always have that photo with their massive
That's
mouths open, and there's two at the top and two at
That's
the
it.
bottom.
No. It said that a full-grown hippo has 40, minimum of 40.
Is that Wikipedia?
No. No, it was hippoteeth.com.
It is the oldest trick in the book.
Is it an ancient Greek book?
It's even older.
Ooh.
Egyptian?
Egyptian is the right
I
answer.
think I might have.
You might know
Is
this?
it about a man called Dedi?
Dedi. How do you know about Dedi? You're right.
He was a man who did the first magic trick, which was, I think, a decapitation of a goose.
You're right.
And tore it off and did it to impress the king. And it's in an ancient scroll.
It
which I
is?
do know the name of. I think I do.
Yeah, go on.
The Westcar Papyrus.
The Westcar Papyrus, this man is
I should say, you know, I have
Do they
had...
teach-
Yes, they do. There is a
They
certain
teach
amount
this
of...
in ancient wizardry at
Yes,
Hogwarts.
they do,
don't
absolutely,
they?
yes. I don't want you to...
This is going to be a very short show.
Next question, come on. I'm not about the jokes, it's all about points for me.
It's all about points.
I
like this.
Pretty much it.
What part of pulling a goose's head off is a trick?
Well, no, sorry, yes, and then restored it.
That's the
And
point.
he was
Oh,
doing-
that's the
sorry,
key
yes,
bit.
that's the
That's the
trick.
point. It's a
Oh,
great...
the old two geese in my bag trick.
He did a goose, as you rightly say, then he did a duck, and then he moved on to an ox, and he would wrench their heads off, and then they would be restored. But you may say, I want to see this trick. If this really exists, I want to see it. After 3, 2, 1, we go Accio Scott. We go 3, 2, 1...
Accio Scott.
Whoa! Oh, my God! I believe you can do the Dedi trick that Dan told us about. Would you like to do, please, with
well,
your...
we'll give it a go with Norman. We just give him a little bit of a...
no.
There we go. Just pop his head back on. There he goes.
Brilliant. Fabulous. The sensational Scott Penrose, ladies and gentlemen. Once he'd conquered Everest, what did Edmund Hillary do for an encore?
He had a massive teeth-off with Sherpa tensing. I can notice no other consequence. Oh, my teeth have grown. Look at my teeth. It's mine too, Edmund. Mine too.
Look at this. Ready? Ready?
You do look like him.
Did he become a Welsh comedian?
No. Me or him?
Hey.
No, I do look a bit like him, actually, but you can't... There's not a lot you can do with it.
Not really.
You've got to do a Kiwi accent.
Yeah, I mean, I've climbed a few mountains in my time, sure I have, but it's not something I like to go on a bit. I'm struggling because...
These are going to work there, right? I'm sorry, I apologise. I apologise to any New Zealanders.
No,
he's trying to do the fish and chips.
The Australians, they don't say Elvis, they say Ilvis.
Ilvis, yeah. And I heard that New Zealanders are traditionally quite sort of puritanical, and it's quite hard for them even to say the word six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Oh, I can't say it. 6. There's a famous graffiti that was seen in Melbourne, which was looked like a rugby score. It's Australia 6, New Zealand 7, which, of course, they would pronounce as Australia sucks, New Zealand's heaven. You see? Isn't that clever?
It doesn't really travel, does it?
No, it doesn't. No.
I should tell you, when this photograph was taken, I'll never forget it, we'd had a wonderful day, and I'd just said a lovely joke to my good friend there next to me, and as you can see, he was pissing himself laughing.
And his name was?
His name was Bert.
His name was?
Sherpa tensing.
Sherpa tensing nor gay.
Well, yes, but to his friends.
Isn't it cheating having somebody carry your luggage for you?
No. Now, which one of them got to the peak first?
Sherpa.
Tensing.
No.
No?
Hillary.
Edmund Hillary.
Edmund Hillary got there first. And not only that...
Were they racing?
No, they're not at all. They were friends. And Tenzing Norgay wrote in his autobiography that Hillary got to the top first, and that Hillary said, no, we tell everybody we got there together. Then the King of Nepal said in a rather angry statement, everybody knows that Sherpa Tenzing got there first, and Hillary didn't say a word. He didn't correct him. He was very noble about it.
Yes.
And he actually devoted most of his life to raising money for the Nepalese people. 25 schools, his charity and everything. So he was a very good man. But what did he do after Everest?
He went to the bottom of the sea.
No.
Did he climb something else?
No, he didn't. Well, he sort of did, because it was in the Himalayas, but he went on an expedition.
He took an incredible challenge that tested the extremes of physical endurance.
Not really. It was a bit of a wild goose chase.
Was he looking for the Yeti?
He was looking for the Yeti. He went on a Yeti hunt. He concluded that the thing didn't exist, but this is him preparing, looking slightly less like Rob in that angle.
Who does he look like there? Edmund Hillary.
Edmund Hillary, basically, yeah.
He does look awkward. He does look like, yes, I am going to marry her because I love her.
I'm standing by her.
In that picture, I look more like the chap in the drawing, actually.
Does he really think that it existed? I mean,
he wanted to settle the matter, or at least to attempt to settle the matter, and of course they didn't find that one. But one thing that they discovered, because is this footprint business, and in shadows, a fox print is small, but as it gets into a sunny area, it gets elongated as it melts along, and a human footprint can go up to 21 inches, and that seems to be an explanation for some of the footprint stories. It's simply that.
they're like the crop circles of the Himalayas, aren't they?
Kind of are. On the other hand, to be fair, one of the members said we were probably too noisy because they didn't see a snow leopard, and we know snow leopards do exist. So it doesn't prove that they do.
Are you suggesting only an expedition that was fantastically quiet might find it?
Well, what I'm saying... yes, basically.
Lost their mobile signal. And hello, yeah, we're nearly at the top. You're breaking up, sorry.
We're looking for the Yeti.
Actually, ironically, you get fantastic mobile coverage when you're up high up mountains. If you ever go on a skiing holiday, oh, good God, what's that?
An artist's impression of a thing that doesn't exist. That's what some people
Edmund
thought a
Hillary
Yeti might look like.
After looking for a Yeti for 20 years.
Some people thought that actually they were on a spying mission because 2 of the people that were with him were rocket experts and that they were spying on Chinese rocket installations in Tibet. Who knows?
What we think that might still... Some people now think that may
yes,
have
they
been
still
what they
think
were
that's
doing. Oh, right.
actually what they were doing, yeah. So, there you are. That's basically the answer. He went to look for a Yeti after conquering Everest in '53. Edmund Hillary went in search of the abominable snowman. Perhaps you can tell me which side Yorkshire was on in the Wars of the Roses.
Well, there's the White Roses, Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yes.
it's not the counties, though, is it? It's just the royal houses.
That's the point, exactly.
Oh,
Yorkshire
right.
has no more
It's
to
the
do with the
Duke-
House of York
Yeah.
than Kent or Norfolk.
It's the Duke of York versus the Duke of Lancaster.
Yes, exactly. The point is, in fact, most people who lived in Yorkshire were Lancastrians. In fact, they favoured the Lancastrian cause.
But now,
Henry
of
VII,
course,
I mean.
people in
Sorry?
Yorkshire very much associate with the White Rose and the Yorkists.
Well, because it's become the symbol of the county and the cricket match between the 2 counties is known as the Roses match and so on. But you're right. Talking of Yorkshire, there are other things that are called Yorkshire that aren't particularly Yorkshire. Can you think of one?
Pudding?
Yorkshire pudding is not a thing that was invented in Yorkshire, although people from Yorkshire are... Hello.
Oh, yes, this was really annoying. that Yorkshire, but that they're trying to say that, like, you can't make, champagne outside the Champagne region or Stilton outside a certain region, that you wouldn't be allowed to make something and call it a Yorkshire pudding outside Yorkshire, which is basically entirely an idea cooked up entirely by people who manufacture those horrible frozen Yorkshire pudding.
You're right to be angry. Yes, it's called a protected designation of origin, a PDO. And Champagne, as you rightly say, has it. Parma ham has it. You can't call it Parma ham unless it comes from Parma.
But making Yorkshire pudding one of those things would be like making a sandwich.
Yes, I know. You had to come from Sandwich in Kent.
Yeah, you had to go to Marks and Spencer's in Sandwich for the authentic sandwich.
Yeah. But give me some other British PDO protected foods.
There's one, I think that Stilton is one.
Stilton, where must it come from?
But it can't come, for example, from Stilton.
No, that's quite right.
The town of Stilton, which the cheese is named after, the cheese is named after it because that's where the cheese was sold, not where it was manufactured. Exactly. So the designated area that you make it in with bits of Leicestershire, I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway, Stilton's
right.
not in it.
Mostly around the Melton Mowbray area.
What about pork pies then? Melton Mowbray pork pies?
I guess you can't call it a Melton Mowbray pork pie. I don't know if that's a PDO.
Do you know that the chairman of the Pork Pie Association is vegetarian?
I didn't know that.
Yes, I interviewed him and I said, because he brought pork pies for us to try, and I said, go on then, Tucky. And he said, oh, no, thanks very much, I'm vegetarian.
That's very peculiar.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yes, but...
He's angry now.
No, I am absolutely sure. What's this man done with his life? You can't, on the one hand, say it's wrong to eat animals and then dedicate your professional life to the marketing of ground-up pig. It's like...
You've got a point.
It's just a sort of pacifist nuclear weapons manufacturer.
But not all vegetarians are vegetarians because they don't agree with the slaughtering of animals. Some do it because they just don't like the taste.
Maybe he thought it was a job being chairman of pork pie hats.
Yes. Or of lying.
Or of lying.
Yes, telling
He
porkies.
thought he's being a spy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
I've got to tell porkies. I've got to tell pork pies.
I'm going to destroy the pork pie business from the inside.
Well, there you are. The fact is, the more Yorkshire folk supported the Lancastrians than the Yorkists. Imagine you're taking a hamster on holiday. How can you make sure it doesn't get jet lag? Yes, Russ.
Holiday in England.
Don't necessarily have to be in England, you just have to stay in the same time zone.
If they're in the cage and they're moving that way and the plane is moving that way, this isn't my area.
Yeah.
Doesn't it balance out in
what do you mean
space and
the
time?
wheel is going one? No.
The wheel is going...
It doesn't quite
It's a-
work.
it's an
That's a nice
idea.
thought.
Is there an answer to this?
There is, yeah. I mean, they have experimented on hamsters and jet lag. They've not actually...
See, look how cute.
They are
you know what I
very
mean? It's a woman. I want to nurse it.
But you pay for it and you realise it does nothing. You watch these guinea pigs in G-Force, they are like fighting, climbing, firing guns, saving people. Yeah. You go home and you see him sitting there, lazy, useless. You're just like a furry scrounger. You get out there
Can you
and
put
do
your
something.
head in a hole like that? I don't think so.
Yeah, but
and they drop pellets. They do a lot of things.
The thing is, Sean, He made that wooden thing.
I was visiting a friend's house, and on the upstairs landing, I was gone to the loo, and I came out, and it was a summer's day, and there was a big open window over the lawn, and there was a football, and I kicked the football through the window, and a child burst into tears, and it had a hamster in it. It was a hamster ball. I didn't know that. I'd never seen such a thing. There are these balls that you put hamsters in. It was terrible. It was shocking.
What
it was actually fine. It was a little dizzy, but it wasn't dead.
Exhilarated,
No,
I thought.
exhilarated.
Again. Someone's done it. Don't take me back in. No. Ah.
It was most unfortunate. But, yeah, they do have...
melatonin. You give it melatonin.
It's not melatonin. It is a drug, and it's a rather surprising one. It's a common drug.
Paracetamol.
Not temazepam, not paracetamol. I'm sure you haven't taken it. You're too young and virile. Viagra is the right answer. Viagra appears to recover from jet lag as long as it's eastward-bound jet lag. That's the weird thing. Jet lag's a lot worse when you're travelling east. It's a lot better when you're travelling west. So, for example, if you go to America, you recover better than when you come back home. It takes you longer to recover. Good. Excellent. Yes, jet-lagged hamsters can have their symptoms alleviated by giving them Viagra. It was a really horrible way of transporting smallpox vaccine.
Was it by Marty Feldman?
God bless him, I remember that scene so well, don't you?
You mean now, when are they transporting smallpox?
No, now you would transport smallpox...
You infect an animal, and then you transport the animal,
Sheep.
and then you take...
You've got the right principle. It's actually not an animal, though.
People?
A rock. You infect a rock.
No, a human.
A volunteer prisoner.
A human child, an orphan.
An orphan?
Yeah.
He's got no one to tell.
Yeah. You go back to the early 19th century, vaccination has been discovered. We know about vaccination.
Cowpox.
Cowpox, exactly. Edward Jenner discovered that if you injected people with cowpox, they would be immune to smallpox. A smallpox which killed about 60 million people in the 18th century. It was a really terrible disease. Now, in about 1803, the King of Spain, whose son had died of smallpox, thought, we want to vaccinate everybody in South America. But how do you get the vaccine in a ship for months? You haven't got ice packs. You know, it's 1803. So you round up a few orphans and you inject one orphan with the vaccine and he develops the immunity and his blood is full of the antibodies and it's all great. So you take his blood and you put it in the next one and the next one. So you've got a whole colony of orphans who are not harmed because they are immune to smallpox, but it means you can use them as a kind of serum, if you like. It's kind of creepy.
They're not harmed, but they're quite a long way away from home.
Yeah, that's the one trouble, is they find themselves in the middle of the jungle. The British, I'm afraid, we did it too. We did it with low-caste Indian boys. It's a pretty squalid thing to do, but it did work. It saved hundreds of thousands of lives, but, as you say, at the expense of some rather bewildered Spanish orphans.
Yeah, but presumably they weren't brought there and then summarily killed.
No, not killed, but they were just left there, presumably. I mean, they were orphans anyway, so you may say maybe they wouldn't have had that good a future in Spain in 1803. Yeah. So maybe their lives went well for them in South America. Who knows?
Too late now, anyway. Nothing we can do about it.
No, there isn't. You're right. Yeah. But we can we can think about them. We can give this little pause and
don't worry about
honour
it.
them.
Forget about it. Move on.
So, what about smallpox today? Is it a worry?
Yes.
How so?
Because it's really the orphans.
You care so
the
much
orphans
about
of great dynasties who are coming back to attack us.
No. It came that close to being the very first disease that humankind completely got rid of, in the sense that there was not one phial or test tube left of it in the world. And then they thought again in about 2002 and said, well, maybe we don't really have the right actually to extinguish it from the face of evolution. So there is somewhere a tiny amount of it left.
Is there not a fear? Is it? I would have thought that they might keep it to develop a vaccine in the event that, I don't know, North Korea had kept hold of some smallpox.
Well, that's also possibly it. You're absolutely right. It may just be that they can't risk the possibility that somebody else has it, and that's human nature. But it's...
I'm sorry, this feels like we're in the opening scene of an apocalypse movie or something.
Yeah. Doesn't life often feel like
chatting about...
But don't worry, it's in this test tube. Nothing can...
And of course, it was so virulent in the 18th century, and people knew that it was contagious, that actually you were much more likely to get a job if you were pockmarked.
Because you'd actually had the
Because it
disease.
showed that you'd had it. So servants and things who were unblemished were unlikely to get a job because it's possible they would catch it and pass it on in the family. Anyway, smallpox vaccine was transported to the New World by successively infecting a series of small boys and then dumping them in South America when they weren't needed anymore. Queen is coming for tea. What should you do with your lavatory seat?
Cover it with money.
Wear it round your neck with pride.
No, I mean, there is a sort of rumour, a myth, an urban legend, a nonsense, a fallacy that you have to get a new lavatory seat for the Queen's visit.
Yeah, super glue it.
Put pink film over the bowl.
Why? Ow!
See if she can play. I don't know why that pleases me so much, but it really does.
There was a rumour, but it's a nonsense that she had to, or that she carried her own calfskin one around, calfskin lavatory seat.
Wow.
But apparently Prince Charles did have his own. We'd given one as a present, and he liked it, so he used to carry it around.
Mac, you say that Charlie's got his own seat and he goes around with it?
No, he was given it as a present, and he used to take it around as a sort of joke.
As a joke?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the people who deal with royalty, you know,
Yeah.
they do said, well, of course.
I know.
And they would have bolted it on with a trice, wouldn't they?
They probably would.
No one would take the joke. Oh, we've made 9 of them. I don't know what you do, how that works in a toilet. People powering the toilet.
Oh, hell.
Jet-powered toilets.
Yes.
Oh, no.
A royal flush.
Oh, yeah. You can be sucked out of a jet toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get wedged in it.
Yeah.
You can create a vacuum. If you create a vacuum, then the whole plane sucks in on itself.
Yeah, like Oddjob.
Yes.
Did he get...
Well, Goldfinger
In fact,
himself gets
Goldfinger himself
like
goes
that.
out the window, doesn't he?
He does.
But not at the loo.
Yeah.
Down the loo.
No, out of a hot... Is it funny how you just have to press the button and then you think, oh, I'll have to press it again because it didn't... And then, whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand well back.
Yeah.
Don't leave your tie dangling over.
Yes, according to Buckingham Palace, the idea that the Queen requires a new lavatory seat is a complete myth. Though you might wonder, why did Julius Caesar wear a laurel wreath?
Was it because he was bald?
Yes, is the right answer. Absolutely right. He was very vain. According to Suetonius, his baldness was a disfigurement of which he was deeply ashamed, and so he chose the laurel wreath as one of the things he had a right to wear, and wore it all the time, which others wouldn't.
They said the laurel wreath is going to do wonders for you, Julius. What it's going to do is going to take attention away from the boys. Now, they come in a variety of colours and styles. We're going to start you off with a very simple, traditional one.
He was also supposed to have invented the comb-over, because Suetonius also...
Invented the
Yeah, he combed his hair forward. I should quote you Suetonius in translation. He used to comb forward the scanty locks from the crown of his head, and of all the honours voted for him by the Senate and people, there was none which he received or made use of more gladly than the privilege of wearing a laurel wreath at all times.
It's going to look really obvious.
Looked like a 60s footballer who'd come through a hedge.
It'd be like leaving your Christmas cracker hat on all year.
What is the roundest thing in the universe? Yeah.
No, just saying.
Oh, no, Oh, not at all.
You should see it. The roundest thing in the universe.
Yeah.
Ball bearings.
Ball bearings are quite round, but
I swallowed a ball bearing.
The roundest... you mean smoothest, most...
Well, the most purely round, in other words. Because if you... Well...
The Earth is thingy, is it squashed? It's not round.
No, that's right, it's an oblate spheroid.
Oh, Nelly Furtado! He's got a word for everything.
Is it a liquid drop, a water drop?
They can get jolly round. They can be very round. Very nice. We're actually further out of space than Earth, beyond Earth. It's a cosmic phenomenon.
Is it a black hole?
It's that kind of a deal.
Oh, it's those space helmets, those big round helmets with the things on the top.
Is it the thing called the genius point? Is it the point at which to which everything goes to ultimately?
Not that. It's when a supernova has a gravitational collapse, it turns into something called a neutron star.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, the neutron star.
They're really round.
That's not round!
No, that's not... That's a supernova, I think. That's a supernova. Going supernova.
Then show us the round thing!
He's very upset, aren't you?
Yes!
It only has a diameter of about 15 miles or so, and there isn't one near enough for you to be able to see it with the naked eye.
Have you ever noticed how we always have to take Stephen's word for it?
But what's interesting is that if I had a thimbleful of a neutron star, it would weigh more than a mountain.
Yeah, but you don't.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, imagine how confused the old woman darning your socks would be if you had a thimble full of it. She was just trying to fix a hole, and and there's all space and time coming out with a thimble. That's no way to treat the elderly.
You're right.
So you put a thimble down and no one could pick it up?
No one at all.
And when you've got a good cleaning lady, you want to hang on to them. You don't want to mess around. I'm leaving, Mr. D. Why? Well, because of all this space business with your thimbles. I don't like it.
It might have double the mass of the sun, but it's only 15 miles across, roughly. And the highest mountain on it weighs 5 millimetres, so it is superbly round. Superb, because as opposed to the Earth, which, although the Earth is jolly round, apart from the flat bits at the top, the point about the Earth is it's actually jolly smooth compared to, say, a billiard ball.
Smoother than a ping-pong ball, isn't it?
Yes, now why is that a snooker ball...
I'm sorry, I did not know there would be a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Why is the Earth...
If you were to scale up a snooker ball to the size of the Earth, the mountains and trenches would be hugely greater than our highest mountains or deepest trenches, i.e. the little pits that you can see when you examine a snooker ball closely, if scaled up to the size of the Earth, would be gigantic. So the Earth, in that sense, is smoother. What are the advantages and disadvantages of guide horses for the blind?
Well, I'm going to say the obvious one is the fact that it could give you a lift. If you've got a guide dog, you have to walk with it. If you've got a guide horse, you'd be crazy not to climb on, wouldn't you?
Yeah. You are aware they exist, though. Did you know that?
I wasn't aware they
existed.
existed. I can't imagine it.
I didn't know. Nice surprise. You didn't know? No. They use these miniature horses as guide horses.
But hang on, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Other
Does a blind
horse-
person walking a Shetland pony?
It's smaller even than a Shetland pony.
Oh, okay, and even smaller. But is a blind person must be aware of the people whispering, "Oh God, somebody's nicked their dog."
You can see how small they are.
Oh, well, it's a falabella then. It's even smaller.
It's a falabella, exactly. It's very, very small. And there are many bigger dogs than that. Anyway, what are the advantages of a horse rather than a dog?
Well, the poo's much nicer, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's nicer.
It's cooler, you know.
It's cooler.
It's cooler, you know. You got a falabella pony, for God's sake. You got a tiny miniature pony.
Well, it looks hard. doesn't
Bragging
it?
rights. You
It could carry a shopping on its back.
Yeah, shopping on its back is
Carry it or pull a little trolley as well. They're quite good at hardy pulling
Some
animals.
people, not many, are allergic to dogs. I would say more people are allergic to horses,
horse, I would have
but
thought
probably if you're allergic to dogs, you may not be allergic to horses.
It might not go and shag the leg of every passerby.
Very helpful.
If it does, though, it'd be more of a problem.
They do have very good memories as well, horses.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. Very good memories. It's usually it's a panicky memory, connected with something that was genuinely painful or distressing for them, and they never forget it. It can be the smallest little...
So they would remember the way to the shops if they're particularly frightened by the way to the shops some time ago, and you could just go,
That would be a
and the horse would immediately go to the shops.
That would indeed be a disadvantage. They're flight animals rather than pack animals,
Yeah,
and so they can spook. Another advantage, and it's a big one, is simply the relationship that you have with your animal is longer.
Because they live, what, 30 years or something?
20, 30 years, as opposed to a dog, 8 to 12 years. So that's a very, very strong advantage. Another one is simply their stamina is greater than dogs, of course.
But can you house train a horse like a dog?
Oddly enough, you can. I mean, not as well as a dog, it must be said,
occasional
but
accident.
pretty well. The disadvantages in restaurants tend to have a policy of no horses, or at least don't have a positive yes to horses policy. And also the other disadvantage is if you go into a bar or somewhere where a dog is welcome, the dog can curl up and go to sleep. Or go under the table. You won't get a horse.
Getting up on a horse.
I just got to do the black now.
Okay. You go home, I'm going to stay.
That would happen, I feel. They are slightly less able to blend into the background, shall we say. How does it work when a blind person with a guide dog wants to cross the road? Does the dog say when it's clear, as it were, and make the decision to cross the road? I hope so. You hope so. Well, oddly enough, it doesn't. It's the blind person who makes the decision.
And the dog keeps stopping him.
The dog has the ability, it's trained what's called selective disobedience or intelligent disobedience. The dog will overrule if it must, but otherwise it's up to the master or mistress, as it were, to initiate it. And it's all done through the feeling of the harness. So when the dog gets to the other end, it puts its paws up on the curb, which alters the angle of the harness. And these blank £2 coins. Just try and draw the Queen's head as she is on the coin.
The Queen's head on the...
Yeah.
OK.
Is she wearing a crown? Is she, you know, just but an outline.
Which way does she look? No one knows.
No, don't ask for help. Alan Davis, I'm going to take points away if you cheat.
How do you think I got through school? How do you ask for help?
Is everyone done?
Yes.
Okay.
She looks like Lenny Henry of mine, unfortunately.
Well, that's all right.
OK, done.
OK, when Alan's done... OK, all of you all hold
I like
them up.
it. Mine looks like a triceratops.
And let's have a look at yours. There. And you're extraordinary. The point is, you've all, especially Bill somehow, you've all made the fundamental error that everybody makes in thinking she faces left. She faces right. You've done that.
You said left.
Yeah, because most people think
Sorry, it's too late now.
88% of people think the Queen faces left on her coins. 88%. On every coin that ever was stamped since she was Queen, it's always faced the right.
Never
always.
for help.
Do they take it in turns? So
Yes,
did
they
her
take-
father
they
face the other
alternate.
way?
Yes.
And Prince Charles?
Yes,
Should he be
Straight
spared?
on. He's full on with the ears like
they
that.
alternate. They've alternated since Charles II.
But does she not face the other way on the paper money?
No, on the stamp.
On the stamp.
All right. That's it's one theory.
Whoa!
One theory as to why 88% of people seem to think she faces left is because she does on the definitive edition of the stamps, which we can see here. We're all familiar with that image. But on the other hand, that's true in Denmark. Queen Margrethe, they also think she faces left, but on the stamp she looks out. And on the coin, she looks to the right.
Wow.
But if you ask a Dane which way she faces on their coins, they will say, as most of us would, left. It's something to do probably with right-handedness. We just picture a profile that way. It's really strange, but because we handle these things every day, unless you're Giles, when you have someone to do it for you. But it's bizarre that we just don't notice, isn't it?
So that's all coins.
All coins with the Queen's head on.
And how
ever
long has
since
that been?
the beginning,
Ever since the beginning of
she came
time?
to the throne. No, it alternates between monarchs. So her father faced left.
Oh, I see.
And
So
his father, George V, not counting because the abdication was a wrinkle, but George VI.
So if you could get all the coins of all monarchs together, or alternating monarchs, and just you could flick through them, they'd be.
It would. It would be like a tennis. How many real friends do you have?
Just one, James Taylor.
What a friend you have in him. Yeah.
I've
Moving
got to
on.
4.
4 friends you've counted, have you?
Well, actually, I'm not sure about him. Because he once spiked my drinks and stole my trousers when I was...
No, you definitely cross him out.
He's coming off the list, yeah.
Which did you do first?
Drinks first, Phil.
I don't know, maybe he's agile.
Good friend. You say that a friend will help you, a friend will come over to your house and help you move, and a good friend will help you move a body.
That's good.
I have 2 good friends.
Oh, Rich! Oh, that's disturbing. There is this thing called a Dunbar number. Does that mean anything
it's
to you?
about 100 and something.
You're right. There was a
120
professor
or
of evolutionary anthropology at Oxford University called Dunbar who calculated, if the calculation is the right word, that we can't have more than 150 friends. And obviously, some of us have a very high doctrine of friends.
150?
Yeah. He defines it this way.
I don't even know 150 people.
It's a network. It's a network.
I was going to say 5.
Right, well, I know what you mean. But he defines this friendly network as containing the people you wouldn't feel embarrassed to join at the bar in the transit lounge of Hong Kong Airport at 3 a.m.
Oh, no, thousands of them.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been embarrassed to join anyone at a bar in my life.
Yeah. It's a peculiar definition.
That is, yeah.
It's an odd one. But on the other hand, the
something
number...
about this particular transit lounge?
I don't know. But 150 does turn out to be quite a special number amongst peoples and groups. It's the average size of traditional hunter-gatherer communities, small religious groups such as the Amish, and the average English village size at the time of the Doomsday Book. It also occurs all over the modern world. It's the number of Christmas cards the average person sends, apparently. 130? 150. The size of a company in all modern armies is 150, as opposed to battalion or platoon. And it's also close to the average number of friends people have on Facebook, which is 130 odd. So it is strangely... It seems to be the number beyond which it's too many, and any less than that is a closer friend. But it's also... When we say friend, we mean someone, as you say...
We
someone
like.
who'll bury a body for you. Yeah. Facebook. Are you all on Facebook? No?
I don't
You
really go on the computer.
I read a prediction the other day that said that at the current rate, in 10 years' time, 1 in 3 marriages in America will be people who met online. It's already 1 in 8. It's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, God.
Is that bad?
Well, you just fill out a lot of forms, don't you? Here's everything I like.
Oh, no,
Meet
they
someone
don't necessarily meet on dating sites. Well,
Oh.
some of them will be, I agree, but...
How else do you meet if you're not on a dating site, though?
Join a group.
You join a group.
Yeah, join a
Chat.
Facebook group with like-minded people.
Oh, right.
They send you witty remarks.
And which are the most
eventually, you send them a photograph of your genitals.
Yes. You know... Whoa. Well, Alan, that's the most popular so far, the genitals.
The genitals.
Of the genitals.
So it's just like a normal courtship, then, but
yeah,
done digitally.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel quite bad, you know, for the Amish in this situation because, you know, they're not going to meet people on Facebook, are they? Unless we create an Amish Facebook where you just write everything you know about yourself on a sheet of paper and put it in a barrel in the middle of the village. People can just dip in and out of, you know.
It's true, because they don't have electricity.
Raise the barn today, lol.